welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below, right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live, like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we're going along if you're enjoying the content. If you don't know who I am Sandra Banner, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, welcome to tonight's episode. In tonight's episode, I want to talk to you about what you need to do to attract new love or to start afresh in your life. So, when the cup is full, stop pouring. What does this mean? So this means that when you've got sort of everything maxed out in life, like you're busy with your career, you're at full capacity at home, or you've got the maximum amount of furniture, you've got stuff everywhere and clutter, you've got, like everything's like kind of full in your life right now, jam-packed. Like you couldn't squeeze a new person in there, like your wardrobes are bursting, you've got more clothes than you know what to do with. Oh, hi Ray, nice to see you. And you just, thanks for the thumbs up. And you got, you just got so much stuff going on in your life and so much literal stuff. There's no room in your life for anyone new to come into it or anything new to happen. Do you see what I mean? So obviously, when I'm recording this live video now, we're in November in 2019. And obviously, the new year's coming soon, 2020. Obviously, I love Christmas. So we've got Christmas in between that. And there's a lot of projects I do want to get finished by the end of this year. I am not going to hurt myself doing it though, because as you know, I've been quite ill recently, so I'm not going to get stressed. I'm trying to work through one thing at a time. And today, my intention last night for today was originally that I needed to carry on with my asexual meetup mastery course, which I am going to be doing. But this morning, I just thought something said that I needed to clear out, because there is, I believe that a new person, a new love won't come into my life unless I get rid of some of those negative past energies from previous boyfriends out of my life. This is something I've learned in my own self-development growth and personal development growth from other people, like such as certain spiritual entrepreneurs, for example. And they believe, which makes very good sense, that, that if you've still got lots of negative energy, if you're still holding on to lots of objects and things from your past, then you've never really let your past go and moved on. And therefore, your cup is overflowing because it's got all this stuff in it that you're trying to pack in your life now, as well as all these old energies. And in order to get, move on in your life, get a new love in your life, get new people in your life, how I start afresh, you need to be clearing your cup. So, like when you, for example, you're on Facebook, every so often you might go through your Facebook friends list and get rid of some people on there, especially if they're just friends in principle, but they never speak to you. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're not speaking to you, they're nothing to do with you really. They're just acquaintances that friended you, but they need to have them on your friends list. Then you can delete them, right? I usually every so often say, I'm getting rid of I'm going through my friends. I'm getting rid of some of my friends. Hi, Sam. Nice to see you. I'm getting rid of some of my friends on my Facebook friends list. And if you want to stay on my friends list, let me know. Obviously, they're like my good friends, like Sam, Ray, and Andy, who also comes on here, Heather. I'm not going to be getting rid of them from my friends list because they speak to me regularly, right? And so that's not what I mean. But those people that, on your Facebook friends that never really speak to you, never really talk to you, don't do anything. Why do you need to have them? You don't. It's attachment. Get rid of them. I had to get rid of someone off my friends list this year who I'd known since 2012 because they decided to stop speaking to me. I am assuming now it's because they've got a girlfriend, but I don't know. But I was worried about them. And finally, one of his friends, she did actually message me and tell me he's moved to Scotland. And I said, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure he's all right and he's not dead. Like, you know what I mean? Because he lives in London and anything could have happened to him. And so she told me. So I said, I guess it means he doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. We've been friends since 2012, but okay. And he saw me last year before the UK Asexual conference to July. But after that, I haven't spoken to him since, I don't think. Or was it one more time after that? But anyway, this year, Christmas last year, didn't get any response. So yeah, he's off my friends list now. So some people change, you just have to let them go. And so today, instead of doing my asexual media mastery course, which I do still need to do, I was quite aware there's quite a lot of stuff up on my wardrobes that I don't use anymore. That's kind of like, some of it's difficult though, because some of it is Eeyores, and I do collect Eeyores. And what's difficult is my ex bought me nearly all my Eeyores and cuddly toys. So I feel if I get rid of all of them, that my flat's going to be a bit dull and boring, because obviously I like Eeyores and Disney stuff, and I do still want to have that. So I don't think I'll be getting rid of all of the stuff, because that would just make me feel like bland and boring. But, hopefully as time goes by, I'll get rid of a lot of them, if not the majority of them, maybe even all, who knows, and then get new ones in, like from family, friends, from myself, that type of thing. So I don't not want to have any cuddly toys or Eeyores in the future. I just don't want them with the old energy. And so here is some of the things I'm actually getting rid of. I've got quite a few things that I've got down off my wardrobe. I have to get on a big ladder because I've got really tall ceilings. Now this is something my ex bought me. It's actually still got the tag that he wrote to me in there, which is like very, 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 very weird, like, so I have to say, getting rid of stuff from your past, sometimes it can be very emotionally draining, because although you're getting rid of it, which is good, if you've held on to it for a long time for whatever reason, because obviously I do like cuddly toys, there's nothing wrong with this cuddly toy in a way, but it's like I don't use it. It's sat on top of my wardrobe. And so why let it just collect dust? I've cleaned it all up. Why let it collect dust? And also I didn't even realise my ex is on there, with his writing. Now, I want to rip this off, but I thought, because it's a 35th edition, special edition, I will keep it on there for now, because I want to, basically see if I can get rid of it in a good way for me. And, sometimes you can sell the odd personal items, do you know what I mean, online. And so, is it being a 35th edition, I just want to keep that tag on there for now. And then obviously if a person gets it, then I can take that off before they collect it, unless they specifically want it on there for a certain reason, but it's got personalized message to me, do you know what I mean? So I don't think they are. But when something's a special edition, ideally you want to keep the packaging and as much stuff as possible on there to make it authentic. So usually I just rip that off, but I thought, no, keep it on there for now, because it makes it look more authentic. But it's really weird, because like last year, I think it was last year, or further on the beginning of this year, I buy you some cuddly toys, right? Thank you. So sweet. I can only have cuddly toys that have got certain eyes, by the way, just in case any of my friends are going to get me. I like these type of eyes, or felt eyes. I've got a thing about eyes, starry eyes. I don't like glass eyes. I can't stand them. Don't like glass eyes. I've got a thing, so I just cover them up, or try not to ever get glass eyes. I need felt eyes or slitty eyes. Like Eeyores got like nice felt eyes. Do you know what I mean? That's fine, but I can't be doing with starry eyes. I just don't like. I've got a phobia of eyes stuff since a kid. So yeah, so basically that's really weird, seeing a message from my ex. Do you know what I mean? And it's for it's Little Miss birthday, so it was for my birthday. Do you know what I mean? It's got my name and everything, and from him, and love and kisses and everything. So it's really, really weird, because my ex did buy me a lot of things, but that's the thing. Some people that are abusive, they can spend a lot of money buying gifts, because it's to kind of cover up their misgivings or shortcomings. Do you see what I mean? My friend, she's with a nice guy now who's doesn't, drinks in moderation. But one guy she was with for a very long time, and he was an alcoholic, yet he would spend loads of money on her. He had loads of money. And so just because someone buys you a lot of gifts, like, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the gifts he bought me, the gifts, because he used to say it's gift therapy, because I used to love gifts, and the stuff he bought me, you can probably understand now why I like younger guys, because the stuff he bought me is all younger stuff. It's like kid stuff. So I've always like, and he looked younger than he was, like I said, over 10 years younger at least. So I was always used to being, and he was in birth certificate age, he was 3.5 years younger than me. So I was always used to being with a younger guy. And I was always used to living I wasn't used to living a young lifestyle in the sense that I used to come home, watch TV and stuff like that, which was more boring. But I was still younger in quite a lot of the things I did with him. Like we went to theme parks, and we had, like he always bought me cuddly toys and a lot of really kid stuff, even baby eels, like for babies and stuff. And so, and I'm used to, like, when I used to be with him, we used to go around, like, when we're at theme parks, zoos, aquariums, we used to go around kissing all the time. So that's the type of relationship that I did. Those are the things I did like about the relationship. There's a lot I didn't, because obviously he was abusive, which is no good. Like, when you fear for your life in the end, it's not a good thing. Do you know what I mean? But like, there are things that was good in this way. So so I'm used to that type of relationship, and that because I've had it in the past, that's why I know I want it again. Do you know what I mean? In those sense, I don't want the rest. I don't want the lies. I don't want the not being able to trust him with women and finally doing stuff behind my back with a woman. I don't want the abuse. I don't want the control. I don't want any of those aspects in a guy ever again. And I do like a guy to buy me gifts. I'll be honest. I do like getting gifts. I'm not going to lie to you. But do you know what I mean? I want a nice person. That's most important. Do you know what I mean? Is that I have a nice person for me, or don't have anyone at all. I'd much rather be single. But these are some of the things I'm getting rid of, like this. And then, this is Dougal. I don't know if you remember Dougal from the Magic Roundabout. So he got me this, and this is like a little bag. So this has got magnets on it. So this has been on like top of my wardrobe for ages. I don't even think I can pull it apart, but it is a little bag, see? And then it's cute because it's a dog. Do you know what I mean? I do like dogs. And then this is something that's ideal for Christmas coming out. It's open, but I haven't really used it. Do you know what I mean? So this is like a little bear and a book, especially for Christmas. So, these these are nice things. It's a little, it's not too hard to get rid of these because I haven't used them for ages, and obviously they're from my ex, and I haven't got attachment to him anymore. But I'm getting rid of some of my eatals, which is harder because I do like eatals still. And these things aren't bad things. It's just I need, they're bad in the sense that he bought them for me. I need to get rid of all this stuff out of my life because it holds bad energy in the room. It's holding past emotions. Like when I saw this with the ticket on there, do you know what I mean? It kind of brings back a lot of memories, when he did buy me gifts, and when I was happy in those instances when I got the gifts, and I thought, oh, that's a really nice gift. And the tags he used to write me, he's dyslexic actually, so writing was quite a big deal for him. And do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to be remembering that stuff, like, because because I'm, I remember some good bits. And so it's kind of like hard because you don't want to think too much about some good bits, because overall you've got to remind yourself that relationship was bad, because I can't be near him. He's too dangerous for me to personally be, not other people, but I'm at medium risk by, being anywhere near him. So I've got to keep, because I still live in the same city, which sometimes I think maybe it'd be better if I moved sometimes, but I love the city. Do you know what I mean? And I'm down the opposite end to where he lives, thank God. So yeah, it's really important though that, if you're looking for a new love to come into your life, how do you expect, a new love to come into your life if you're filling your life up still with old stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like in 2020, I want like to be in my career even more expanded. I want to have like some stuff in my flat to be out of it, to wait for new energies and space and stuff. I don't tend to like too much space. I prefer stuff around me. So obviously getting rid of some stuff's a bit weird, but I've got a bit too much. Do you know what I mean? I don't need all this stuff. And and I can make way for new stuff then to come into my life. Do you know what I mean? There's some clothes that I haven't used for absolute years. actually, there's one item of clothing that I last wore when I was actually 21 in birth certificate age, which I'm going to get rid of, which I've actually put back in my wardrobe for safekeeping, but I'm going to get out and show you, because seeing as it's to do with 21, I went in my 21st birthday in it. So this is something I bought myself, actually, so I don't have to get rid of this because I paid for this myself. But this is a fake fur coat, right? Don't obviously have real fur. And this is absolutely beautiful, really. You know, so I don't have to get rid of this if I don't want to, because I paid for this myself. But not the ex that bought me this stuff, but the other ex, which you don't really know much about, because I don't speak about him hardly ever. I really don't. I just don't like, you know, if I've got hate towards one person, it's more, I don't, you know, it's not good to have hate, but it's more geared towards the other person, because the other person really didn't give a shite about me, even though the last person was, well, they're both abusive, to be honest. So I can't say neither of them were any good. But anyway, with the ex I've never really spoke about much was when I was 21 in birth certificate age. I was with him since just before my 18th birthday. So anyway, when I was 21, I wore this in London, and I went to the theatre in it. And I remember being in the hotel, because I think I phoned my mum up, because obviously my mum and dad I wasn't with. I was with my ex at the time, and it wasn't my ex at the time, but I was with him. But he's my ex now. So I remember wearing this, and so the last time I did actually try it on again today, which was very weird, because I'm like, shall I even put it on? Because it's gonna, like, I don't really want to be remembering that. Do you know what I mean? Let me tilt it up a bit. But then, but I've got another coat that I wear more than this, which is a similar type of thing. But this is what it is. It still fits me. It's a one size fits all. So it felt a bit weird putting this on after all these years, and I wasn't sure whether to do it or not. But I'm going to be getting rid of it anyway, I think, unless I change my mind. But it actually really suits me. But I bought this myself, so it's not the fact I bought it myself that's a problem, because, you know, it's actually a really nice coat, and it makes me feel like $1 million. It smells really nice still as well. But so I don't have to get rid of it. But, you know, it's because last time I wore it, I was with my other long-term ex, and he wasn't nice either. He was very bad a lot of the time. He was Mr. Charming to everyone else, but do you know what I mean? It's you know, it wasn't good, really. There was a lot of lying, cheating, and he went off with a woman with a kid. He was having an affair with a woman with a child. I thought he's working, but instead he was having this affair with this woman. I got a mortgage with this guy, so I don't usually talk about that. And I moved in with him one Christmas on the 1st of December. By the 21st, he'd already told my mum, not me, that he'd been having an affair with a woman with a kid. So, like, by January, we were split up. Do you know what I mean? It's the only time I've had a mortgage in my life. I won't want to do that again. You know what I mean? I prefer to rent nowadays. I like renting. But, I mean, if I had my own house, enough money to buy my own house outright in the future, I'd do that. But, yeah, so that was my coat when I was 21 in birth certificate age. So it's been a little while since I've actually put that on, as you can tell. Like, I don't use that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, because obviously the last time I put it on was when I was 21 in birth certificate age. That's a long, but not that long time ago. Because I don't like talking about my birth certificate age. But so, like, yeah, my mindset's 21 now. So yeah, I don't have to get rid of that because it's something I bought myself from a shop I used to work at, actually. But it's because the last time I was wearing it, I was actually with my ex, and we were in a hotel together, and we were going to the theatre. I did out, you know, like, and it was my 21st birthday. I remember that specifically. So I think I wore my 21st key necklace that my mum bought me as well. So that's kind of weird, but I don't use that. I haven't used it for a long time. So why do I need it? Do you know what I mean? It's just sat in my wardrobe doing nothing, because I've never really wanted to wear it again since then, because obviously I don't really want to be reminded of my ex. So it's kind of like, you know, even put it on is a bit weird. Like, I didn't know whether to do that, but I did it earlier. So, but you know what I mean? You're all on this journey with me. So I think it's important to share this stuff with you. And I just feel like it's better that I get rid of some stuff. It's better I get rid of clothes that I don't use anymore, get rid of items I don't use anymore and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of weird because two of the eels that I'm putting up for sale, I actually do look at them all the time. And now that's like blank space there, it's a bit weird. So I'm not sure whether I'm doing the right thing by getting, there's one eagle I really want to keep, but it's like, no, you need to kind of get rid of some stuff, Sandra. Do you know what I mean? So but like I said, I don't want to get rid of everything my ex has got me at the moment because I have nothing left in my flat very much. I still have the pictures because I bought those pictures. I bought that Mickey Mouse for myself. That's why I loved going to Disneyland Paris as well this year, because I got some stuff for myself. Like, I got this Mickey Mouse. I bought that myself, so definitely always be keeping that. And then I've got the Frozen throw. I've got a Disneyland Paris throw. I've got Disney mug, Disney bowl. I've got, Disney plates, Disney towels, Disney tea towels. So do you know what I mean? The more things I buy myself, it's better. And I've got a few, like 3 cuddly toys from my best female friend as well. And Andy bought me a little purse, which is a doggy. So yeah, so I've got some new stuff, but a lot of the stuff I've got actually was bought by my ex, and I've just kept it for years. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't need to get new stuff, because I don't believe in just getting new stuff usually for the sake of it. However, I need to let a lot of new energy into my life. I need to be getting through things that don't serve me anymore. Like, I love living here, don't get me wrong, but if I ever did need to move out, just imagine taking all the stuff with me that I don't use anymore. It's a bit pointless, isn't it? It's better to prepare now for a new, fresh 2020. And, if I want a love of my life to come into my life, do you know what I mean? It means kind of like I need to be making some physical space in my wardrobes. Do you know what I mean? So that if he comes and stays, he'll want to put, like, he might want to put, I'm not saying it's going to happen, because I really don't like sleeping in the same bed as a guy, let alone, like really having him around my home. But, say he did want to leave some stuff here occasionally, if he did stay over some nights, you know what I mean? There's nowhere for him to put his stuff very much. Do you see what I mean? So if you look at all these type of things, like, you're preparing yourself for your future. And like, if I ever do want to move, not that I'm looking to move because I love it here, but say like in the future my businesses were hugely successful, I could afford to buy a house outright, which has always been my dream. I always said to my parents as a kid, I want enough money when I'm older to buy my house outright. I still want that dream. I think you've got to dream big in life, and I think you've really, really got to keep going for things. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. I still think it's good to have this dream. But I'm very happy and settled here. Like, even if I had the money to buy my own house outright, I still think now, like, I think, okay, so you had the money now, would you rent that place out and still live here? Because actually I so adore living here that might be an option, that I would rent somewhere else out that I bought, so that I could have that rent coming in as money to pay for this place and save as well. Because I really do love living here. So I don't know, but I have visions of what I'd like if I had my own place, like completely own place. But then, I think there's a great degree of safety here because I've got people around me, even though I live in a flat, I live in the middle of a house. So I like that safety aspect. I feel really safe and secure a lot of the time. Is kind of, and I've always felt like this place is home. But by getting rid of older stuff, not only does it encourage a new love in my life, also encourages a fresh start. And, sometimes if you're not moving, it's nice to just change your own home around as it is, like either redecorate or just get rid of some stuff, move some stuff around your home, like move, where some certain things are, position them differently, maybe get some new furniture if you can afford it, all this type of thing, so that, you're having a fresh, like, breath of fresh air come through your own home as it is. You don't have to do something dramatic, like, if you've got your own place and you own your own place, you don't have to just sell up and move. You can like redecorate or revamp or rechange where you actually are. I mean, when you're in a small rented flat, there's only so much you can change around, right? Because obviously, there's fixed, there is over there's a fixed wardrobe. Do you know what I mean? And there's certain things that are fixed in certain places. But just by getting rid of some stuff, like behind you, which behind this Mac, because you're on my Mac at the moment, I've reorganized my books on my bookshelf, and I had some containers which I've took and put up there now, because I made some space by something I got rid of, and then the other stuff went over there. So as I get rid of certain stuff, I'm making more space for other things, to make them more tidier and more spacious, or just have more space to bring new stuff into my life. And I think that's what you've got to do. If you want to bring a fresh love into your life, like, think about what you need to do. And also, think about the type of person you want in your life. Like, if you want a younger person, for example, in your life, then you've got to start thinking younger. Unless it's a younger person that's attracted to old stuff, you'll need to, change your perception. Like, I tend to buy young, clothes that are young brands. I shop in places usually these days that are considered young places to shop, like New Look in the UK. I don't know if there's New Look in other places. And I watch young movies usually, like young music. Do you know what I mean? So I like younger guys. That goes well together. Do you know what I mean? But if you want to attract a certain, like, you shouldn't have to change yourself for anyone, but you should change yourself for you and how you want your future to be. Like, in terms of career, I've got rid of 7 of my domains this year. I've actually gained 5 though, so I haven't completely, I haven't, like, still not got some of the expense, but I've got rid of 7 domains that I've had for many years. Most people are scared to come into my house. Laugh out loud. Oh dear, Ray. That's not a good sign, is it? But yes, so yeah, maybe you should think about that. But I don't know why they'd be scared. It depends what they're scared of and whether you want them in your house. Do you know what I mean? If you don't want them in your house, it doesn't matter, does it? But do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, to be honest, like, I don't really want to sleep in the same bed as a guy, and I'm up till 3 or 4 in the morning usually, and that doesn't suit a guy. He needs to sleep, whereas I'm like up being energetic. My whole, like, metabolism and my whole lifestyle's upside down. Like, I eat late at night, which they say is really bad, but I don't feel as hungry early on in the day. I feel hungry at 9 and 10 at night because I've got so used to my metabolism shifting. Do you see what I mean? So sometimes I'm not hungry at normal times anymore. I'm hungry at times when it suits my my very quirky lifestyle. I've got to get up early tomorrow though, because I've got a busy day tomorrow. All they see is bows, arrows, and crossbows on the wall. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Ray, that is difficult for me because I don't like sharp objects and things that can kill people with in general. Do you know what I mean? But I've always liked the idea personally of archery. I've always liked that idea. I have tried archery once as well because it was always a ambition for me to try it. But I wouldn't like to be in a place with knives and arrows and stuff like that. To be honest, it would, like, put me off. Like, but I know you need to do you have the bows and arrows and crossbows for your archery. But I guess I would want them to be in a, like, if it was me, I'd have them in a cupboard or something, not splayed out. But I mean, you should be proud of it. It's part of who you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good for you. It's who you are. It's good for you to display them. I personally don't like, it's like guys, I can't, like, met guys in the past that have had, like, big knives, like machete stuff. And I'm like, I can't be in a relationship with a guy who's got a machete knife. I'm just not going to do it. I don't like it. Some guys hide knives under their bed. That is really creepy. I went on a date once. This guy met me at the cinema. We got chatting at the cinema. We didn't go to meet at the cinema. And he decided that he wanted to go out on a date with me. And we went to the museum in Exeter, which was the worst type of thing for a guy to do with me on a date because I don't actually get interested in history museums. I like science museums, not history. Having said that, I have done an asexual meetup in the History Museum in Exeter because it is free. And it's not like I'll never go around it. But if a guy wants to woo me and be romantic with me and actually wants me to be attracted to him, taking me somewhere where I'm not that keen on is not really that great thing to do, really. Do you know what I mean? Like being around stuffed dead animals and things like that. And the History Museum, it doesn't really do much for me. I like alive things. And anyway, he took me there, but I was laughing pretty much all the way through the museum because I just couldn't take it seriously because I know that sounds really bad, but I just don't, like, I'm not really fond of history museums. History is not really my thing, and I just couldn't do nothing but laugh because everyone was so serious. There was these people who worked there, and they're just looking so solemn, so serious. I'm just like laughing. I didn't do that at the asexual meetup though. I didn't do that. I was very professional when I went with the asexual people. I didn't go around laughing. I have been laughing once with an asexual guy who came to my meetup, and the rest of the people went, and he stayed behind and we went around the museum together. But he hurt his leg really early on, and he had to go home early. So, but a lot of the things in Extra are a bit weird as well. It's like if you go in Extra and you read some of the stuff, it's like a kid's written it. It's like this is a tree and it's got green leaves on it, that type of stuff. And it's like a 5-year-old could have written this. It's not something I expect from a professional museum. Do you know what I mean? Some of the stuff, that's what makes me laugh as well. It's just the way things are written. It's like this is a knife. I'm like, yes, I can clearly see that. It's not really it doesn't even go into all the history, from what I remember of everything. It's more like this is this and this is this. It just reminds me of a 5-year-old written it. I just laugh. It's not really, but I was good when I went with the asexual team because it was different, and I was doing it for them. But also, it was really funny because the people at that asexual meetup wanted to go around the museum. I did that as a meetup, so I knew I was going there. So when I'm going to do something, then my mind's into doing it at that time because I've proposed it in my head and like I'm prepared for it, right? So sometimes you might do something in life that's different to what you usually do, but so long as you prepared for it, it's okay, right? So obviously I knew I was in more serious mode, I wasn't in laughing mode, I was in more serious mode. And when we went round there, what was the only thing that was funny was myself, because everyone else that wanted to go around the museum, I invite them to go around because I knew other people enjoyed that, right? So I wanted to invite other people. I wanted to go around there for other people. Okay. So I did want to go there. I went with an intent to want to go there because I knew it'd make other people happy. And I'm okay going there. It's free. It's in my city. It doesn't bother me like that. And so, but what was funny was some of the people that really wanted to go around it at the end, they were like, oh, they had enough. And I was like, no, I want to do the last little bit now because I don't believe in doing something like half-hearted. If I'm going to do the museum, I'm going to do the whole museum, every little detail. Do you see what I mean? So that was really funny because there's this one woman going, oh, I think, like I've seen enough now. And I'm like, oh, well, I just want to finish it off. So like I gone for my note. I'm not that keen on the history museum, so I really want to finish it all off now and see every little detail because that's what I'm kind of like all or nothing girl. It's like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do the whole thing and do it properly. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going around there to do something half-hearted. Sam, I have a clear out every few months, personal stuff / home and social media, and feel much better for it. Yeah, it's really good, Sam. It's really, really good. I know you do that, and I know you keep a really good small cluster of friends on your Facebook that really means something or that actually participate in speaking to you now and again, or a lot of the time, like me. So yeah, I think that's really good. I have been clearing through stuff over this year, gradually, but it's like, taking quite a lot of stuff off my wardrobe that I actually like is different to getting rid of stuff that I'm not so fussed about. But I mean, I'm not so fussed about these things, but they are still nice. Do you know what I mean? Especially like the Christmas bear thing. And it's got a little bit book with it, but I need to get rid of these things, because they remind me of my ex. My ex bought them for me, and there's no actual need to have them in my life anymore. And I just think, because I've got a small flat anyway, it's better for creating some space in it, because otherwise I just keep getting stuff and stuff and stuff, and I don't actually, it ends up piled on top of each other, which isn't very healthy, really, I don't think. But it's really interesting because I don't dust, right, which is hilarious to most people. I don't dust. I don't do dusting. The only time I ever dust is around my TV occasionally if I'm watching Blu-ray. But I don't dust for years. Like on top of my wardrobe there's dust, and I believe, what's the point in dusting, because I only get dusty again. And this stuff had dust on it, but it hardly took me a few minutes just to get it off. So my theory's actually right. I proved my own theory right. That means if I don't dust up there, literally for years, I don't know the last time I dusted. Like over 3 years, more like over 3 years ago, maybe 5 years ago or more, right? And so, like, I'm not climbing up a ladder just to do dusting. I don't see dusting like unless you've got really bad allergies to dust mites. I don't see, or you like dusting. I don't see the point in doing it. It's a waste of life to me, right? So when I'm up there, and obviously if I get rid of some stuff, I've got less to dust anyway. So that's good. And so anyway, so I thought, oh my God, these toys have got some dust on them. But my theory is if you've got dust, then obviously if you have lots of other dust, if you leave it, the dust will just gather on top of the dust, or the dust underneath will kind of like stop other dust getting on it. Won't do you know what I mean? There'll become a point where there's just a layer of dust and nothing else can get through to the actual thing. And like it's really good. I mean, these have cleaned up really well. Do you know what I mean? Like this was having dust. Look, there's not a dust mark on it now. Do you see what I'm saying? So that was absolutely no need for me to actually get up there and dust for the last 5, 6, 7 or whatever years I haven't dusted, because all it took was a few minutes to just take the dust off. Do you know what I mean? But had I been dusting, I would have had to keep dusting and dusting and dusting every year, every month. What a blimmin' waste of life. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very different to other people. Like most women, and specifically if we're talking about gender, traditionally like to do stuff around the home like dust and clean. Most people like to clean. I don't. I think it's a waste of life. I did some hoovering today. Yes, and I will wash my clothes, and I do washing up every few days. But, I'm not into housework. It's not my thing. I think it's boring. I think it's like pointless a lot of the time. And I think it's a waste of life, So I cut it down. I don't do it if I don't need to. So I'm not, so yeah, I'm really impressed with myself. I was like, well, hey, these things that need dusting, like especially the curly toys, it's very easy. You just wipe it off with kitchen roll. I don't dust stuff all out. I have better things to do. Exactly. Sam, it's really, really interesting, isn't it? I mean, just imagine, like, I could have been dusting that every month or every week or every day. But now I've just taken a few minutes to dust the dust off there. That's like when I haven't dusted up there for like what, probably 5, 6, 7 years. I don't even know the last time I dusted up there. Do you know what I mean? It's a long time ago. I think when I first moved in here, I think I started dusting for the first few years up on and every time I had my Christmas decorations I used to start dusting, and now I don't bother. Like I haven't done it certainly for the last few years. I think what's the point? It's only get dusty. So yeah, literally, because if dust settles, nothing else can get through to the underneath, can it really? Because it's formed like a layer. So yeah, my theory worked, It's like I've got one toy that I couldn't completely, I got, actually it was stained and I got stains off it, even brown stains. I'm like, how that? Only with water as well. Just getting it some water and sponging it off. I'm like, wow. It was on its eyes, actually. Big toy. I haven't eat or so I don't. He's not my favorite eat or so. Try living with a husky with the hair. Laugh out loud. Oh, bless you. Yeah. Yeah, you have to, obviously, you've got pets you have to hoover. When I had guinea pigs here, I had to hoover a lot more, like regularly, every day usually, or, like I just had to, because there's hay everywhere. Even now, I sometimes find bits of hay from from like last year when they went to live with they went to live with my parents. I've only got one now, Angel. But yeah, so, there's stuff I don't use, and I just think it's really good, I mean, because my comfort zone is usually keeping everything that I've bought, that's my traditional comfort zone. I've had to change that over the last year. Even worse when I have more dogs. Oh yeah, Ray. Gosh. Yeah. It is like, wow, a lot of animals you have, but you do a really good job. Really good job. But yeah, I did notice, like when you said you're scared, people are scared to come into your house because of all the crossbows and stuff on the wall. I do know you have a lot of sharp objects in your house, and it is a little bit scary for someone like me who's like not into sharp objects at all. But I know your archery's amazing. You did so well. Ray wins competitions for archery, so he does very well. I'm really proud of you for what you do. It's really good. So yeah, so if you are thinking about your future, you need to be thinking about like like I said, I've got rid of 7 of my domains this year. Like I've had some of those domains for absolute years. I've had them all, I think, for 4 years at least. I think the last ones I got, I think some of the the latest one I just got rid of today, actually, it expires today. I got it bought in 2015. So some of the other ones have had a lot longer than that, you know. So it's taken me a lot of courage to actually get rid of them, because I get emotionally, I've noticed, right, because I reflect a lot, I get emotionally attached to things, which I didn't really realise till earlier on this year, I think it was. I realised I was attached to my printer at the time, emotionally attached to a printer, because it had been through a lot of rough times with me. Like when I'd had a lot of issues going on, that printer had been there with me when I had, you know, through thick and thin, when I've been writing my books and stuff. So it wasn't just a printer to me, it was a emotional thing. But, you know, I sold it this year for a very cheap amount, like 45 quid, I think it went for. It's a commercial printer, and I paid a lot of money for that years ago because I had an accident. So it's over £1,000 worth of printer. You know what I mean? Because I had an accident claim, and I used it to buy the printer, because I was originally going to use it to print my own books, but I used Amazon to print it. So at that point in time, it was a very expensive printer, but it stopped working, and I've got a new printer now, which is smaller, compact, and it's sufficient for what I need nowadays. But the other one, you know, was a commercial laser printer, and it was specially made, executive series, you can't buy in your shops. It's made in Bristol for 6 weeks, I think it took to make it. So beautiful machine, but it just stopped working, and it seemed like the box had gone inside. There's a special box, and so I sold it for spare parts. But someone who works in engineering could probably get it working, because I could have had an engineer out, but just to have an engineer out, I think was nearly between 134 and 180 quid, I think, and then you have to pay for the part on top. And I thought, no, it's cheaper for me to get a new printer with a guarantee for 3 years like I've got now, and something that's cheaper to run. I got really cheap to run printer now with ink bottles. It's amazing, the printer I've got, you know. And so I'm really glad. But it went to a good home. This guy used to be an engineer, and so he hoped to do it up and have it for the rest of his life, because it's such a special printer. You can do special stuff with it. So it went to a lovely couple from Cornwall. So do you know what I mean? It's just amazing when you actually, you know, like, you get rid of something that's not working for your life anymore, and you give that kind of gift to someone else, like for 45 quid. I mean, if he gets it working, he's got over £1,000 worth of machine on him. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really, really good buy for him, because he said he used to work and do them up. So he thinks he can do it up, which I'm sure he can. He already had things he wanted to print with it. So, you know, I'm glad it's gone to a good home, because that's what I like to see. If I've taken good care of something, personally, I like things to go to people that are going to look after them. But it was so funny. I got rid of a Pooh Bear from Build-A-Bear Workshop. I put it really cheap, like 10 quid. And this woman came and got it. And when she was leaving, she goes, "Oh, my cat's going to love its new present when it gets home." It was for a cat, not for her. It's so funny. I thought she might be giving it a gift to a relative, but it seems it was for her cat. Because Build-A-Bear teddy bears are about 24 quid a lot of them. If you buy them brand new. It was so funny. And it had a honey pot, which is more money because it's an attachment. So that made me laugh quite a bit. But at least the cat will be happy. But, you know, like, I like it if, you know, if I do get rid of anything, for it to go to a good home. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I've looked after something and it's something that cheers people up. So it kind of feels like something that's like maybe got a negative emotion for me can actually instill a really positive emotion for someone else. And that's why I feel that I get rid of it. It's got negative energy for me, but actually that thing could have very positive energy for someone else, because I guess the energy transforms into how they believe it to be. Like, I haven't really specifically gone around thinking I've got loads of negative energy flying around my home. Like, a lot of the time, the things that have been bought in the past, like cuddly toys and stuff, but most of the time, the majority of items I don't even think about my ex. But there are sometimes subconsciously I do recollect things, like times that person was with me with that item and stuff like that. So I just know it's really good to clear out and bring in the new, you know, like getting rid of old domains was a very big deal for me, because I built like a whole quirky family organization of different domains. They all had like quirky in the title, and now, like, literally I've got rid of seven of those. So that's quite a significant difference for me. But Like I have to detach and not hang on to things. Like the printer was very good for me to get rid of because I didn't realize it was mostly attached to a printer. Like you don't really think, and like people are scared to admit this stuff. Like who goes around saying, "Hey, I got this printer and it's commercial. I'm a totally like I'm really emotionally attached to it." People don't go around admitting this stuff. But in order to move forward with your life, you need to self-assess and reflect and admit stuff to yourself that maybe be absurd or hilarious or weird to other people. You have to admit it to yourself, because if you not admit it to yourself, you're just fooling yourself, and you can't move forward or change your life if you're still living in these attachments. Do you know what I mean? So I'm having to like try and emotionally detach. Sometimes if you try and do too much at once, it can be a bit destabilizing. Do you know what I mean? Like I was kind of talking about this a bit on yesterday's live stream, that especially if you have an anxiety condition or anything, like you suffer with any type of anxiety, like it's hard. Like I didn't used to be able to do any change much in my life years ago, but now I make myself do change. But you can make yourself do so much that it destabilizes you a bit if you're not careful. So, well, it can me. So I have to be very careful that I do it in bits, but I've always got something that is kind of still me that I'm keeping, if you know what I mean, that I want to have. Like thankfully, a lot of the movies that I've got, quite a lot of them are from my mum and dad, which is really nice. So I don't need to think, that's positive stuff. And some of them I bought myself. There are still a few that my ex have got me, I think. But do you know what I mean? It's like I said, if I get rid of everything my ex has got me, then I probably won't end up with much, to be honest. But it's important that you do get rid of as much as possible gradually, or quickly as ever you want them. I like to, like, once I've made a decision, maybe I should take down the throwing axes. Yes, Ray. Maybe you should take down the throwing axes. But do you know what I mean? If people are scared to come into your home, maybe you need to, if you want a woman in your home, you might want to change that. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone's tried to tell you it's scary. I mean, most women are not really going to want axes and sharp objects staring at them every day. Do you know what I mean? Unless they're that way themselves. Like, if you, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. If you get, like, obviously a woman axe thrower or something, like, then it might be fine. But yeah, it might just be a bit like much for a woman. Do you know what I mean? That's what you've got to think. If you want someone new to come into your life, like, what do you want that woman to be like? What do you want them to maybe look like? What type of personality do you want them to have? Like, kind of specify what like, I've talked about this in past videos, but I think it's before you subscribe to this channel. It's like you should have like an avatar of your ideal person. Like, a new person not necessarily going to live up to the exact specific avatar, but when you're dating and looking at relationships, you should have like like, even draw it out, sketch it out in a diary or journal or a notepad. You should have like your ideal type of person that you want. Sometimes people don't get their ideal person, they get the opposite and still love them to bits. But you know what I mean? Like, I know specifically what I'm looking for. Ideally, like, I'm looking for an Indian guy in his 20s who's asexual, doesn't like sex like me, really into kissing, like, for 1, 2 or 3 hours at a time, and enjoys that, wants to do that like a hobby like me. And like, short dark hair, ideally clean shaven, like into IT or business, thin, not muscly. It might send the girl the wrong message, especially with an axe. Exactly, Heather. Like, I did notice when Ray did send me a few of his pictures, it was a bit scary. Like, there's a lot of sharp objects there, and it's like, Zyme warrior princess, haha. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to find someone, but like, you'd have to specifically get a person, a woman that was into doing that type of thing, that liked that. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I wouldn't want to be in a house that's full of that stuff. I don't like it. What if someone broke into the house and decided to turn and use that on me? That's what I would think. Do you know what I mean? I just like, are dangerous. I don't even like kitchen knives. I do have a couple of kitchen knives, but I've got one big one which I don't really like using very often. It freaks me out. And I've got a smaller, like bread knife. I don't eat bread though, and one tiny one that I do use for cutting up vegetables. But yeah, I don't like sharp objects near me. I've got this thing where I want them out. I don't want them. I can't be with a guy who has like weapons in the house. Usually, my dad does own a shotgun though, and I did live with him for years. And my mum, he has a shotgun license. My dad does. So yeah, and I do trust my dad like that. He's very trustworthy like that. So you know what I mean. But yeah, so and when I was really, really young, under the age of 6, I was shooting from a pellet gun. I remember that. That was really weird because I was kind of thinking, like, growing up, if I'm a girl, it's very unusual for parents to let a girl do that. But I thought, oh well, skills must come in handy somewhere in my life or future life or past life or whatever. I don't know. It's a bit scary. It's like later on, I thought about it, I was like, isn't that a bit weird? You're teaching your daughter under 6 years old to shoot a rifle with pellet guns into targets. That is a bit bizarre. Am I going to need these skills later on in my life? And what for? Hope it's for the greater good and not some weird situation going on. That's enough of that. But I am very good at hilly-billy shootouts, though, because of that, usually. Like, you know, like when you go to theme parks or amusement arcades, like even Disneyland Paris, they have those targets. Ray might like them. I take down the axes, but not the posts. So, when like when you go to like I went to Disneyland Paris, as you know, they have like those hilly-billy shootouts, where you can shoot targets and things move and squirt water and all those different type of things. I can be quite good at that if I'm in the right like position and frame of mind and I've got it. Like I used to be very good at it, which I think was because I used to shoot a rifle with pellets years ago when I was a kid. So I keep the bow, however, not the arrow. But the thing is, Ray does do his archery, which you can't never give up. But personally, if I was doing archery, I would keep my bows and my arrows, I would keep them in a cupboard. But Ray likes looking at them. But I mean, unless you're gonna get a woman, Ray, it doesn't really matter, does it? But I mean, like Heather is a female, and the arrow would put her off because it's a sharp object again. You need the arrows, laugh out loud. Yeah, but obviously, like if you were keeping the bows and arrows in a cupboard, you don't need them on the wall, do you? But you do what you want to do because it's your home. But if you were thinking about having a woman come and live with you in your home like a future partner, I don't think a woman would be wanting those things in the home or to see them to be not pinned up against the wall. Do you know what I mean? To be honest with you, but I don't want to tell you what to do. But Heather's trying to give you advice as well because, like, you know what I mean? Like, because if you do bow and arrows, shooting archery, you don't actually need them displayed on the walls. But if you love that and it's your personal space, do what makes you happy. You don't have to be in a relationship. You don't have to have a woman in your life. But obviously, this video is all about if you want to get new love into your life, the type of things you have to really do and be thinking about. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to be considering, like, if I obviously have a younger guy, he might still be at university, Like, obviously, he's going to need study time and all that type of thing that I know, but I get busy with my own stuff, so that usually works out fine. But do you know what I mean? There's going to be times when he's going to be, like, doing long lots of study. He might not be at uni, but that's a high possibility. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? And, I just think it's good if you're already prepared for the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, the future you want to have, like, make it happen. Do you know what I mean? You don't actually need the arrows on the wall. You need the arrows and the bows together to shoot, but you don't actually need the arrows or bows on the wall, to be honest with you. But, like, you have to decide in your life. I would take them down if they asked me to. Yeah, I know, but that's not what a woman really wants to do they? They don't want to come to a man and say, can you do that for me? Because it kind of like, some women will, but it's kind of like if you're inviting a woman back to your house and you've said that people get scared to come into your house, then you now know why. So if you wanted to have a woman come into your house in the future, unless you get a woman who likes that type of thing, then she's not going to be comfortable. Do you know what I mean? So that's the actual truth of the matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to think about what you want and, you know, like what the future person would want. And, you know, I wouldn't want to be asking someone to get rid of something or take something down, in the sense that I'd be like, well, I don't want to make them do something they don't want to do or feel uncomfortable with them. So I don't want to change them. Do you know what I mean? Because if it makes them happy, it makes them happy. But I wouldn't want to be with someone like that personally, because it's not my cup of tea. I couldn't be with someone with like axes and bows and arrows all over the wall, because it would be scary to me. Do you know what I mean? But that's just me. It doesn't mean to say it's the same for every person. But, you know, if this video is being honest and this live stream is being honest, if you want to make way for a new person in your life, you have to decide how you're going to fit them into your life. Like you say, you've got dogs, like, which is the most important thing to you, which is okay and good and fine. But obviously, you know, where would a woman go? You know, like I know you've got a spare room. Is there room actually in the spare room for a woman when you've got the dogs there? Do you know what I mean? Because if you've got the dogs there and you've got no room for a woman and you want a woman, then there isn't no room for a woman in your life. Do you see what I mean? In that way, unless the woman stayed in her own place and you stayed in yours, which would be a different arrangement. Do you see what I mean? Because they don't have to stay around yours, but just most women would want to stay around yours. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, like, you have to, whatever person's watching this, you have to think about what happens if a person comes in your life, a potential partner. How are you gonna fit them into your life? If you haven't got space to fit them into your life, they can't fit in. That's why you're not getting a person. Do you know what I mean? If, you know, at the moment, I could only probably see a guy once to twice a week, maybe maximum, if that. Do you know what I mean? Because I haven't really, you know, I need to spend a lot of time doing what I'm doing. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, until my career's more settled later on, it's going to be harder for me to actually get a guy who is right for me, commitment wise, and me him probably, because, you know, that's why I've given myself permission lately to go out and kiss some guys outside a relationship. But not only that, because I want to get used to, you know, kissing Indian guys and being around them and seeing if it's exactly 100% is what I think I want, is what I want. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like sometimes you have to try things out to see if what you really believe is the actual truth. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important that you do that. And, you know, I'm not going to meet Indian guys, am I, sat at home doing nothing about it? Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So I need to go out there and make it happen. And, you know, it's good. You know, but if you're gonna, you know, like, if you're gonna think about relationship, you have to really ask yourself, have I got time for the relationship? Can I make space for this person in my life? Have I got space in my home for this person? If the answer is no, then that is why you're not successful in getting a relationship. It's the actual reality of the situation. So in order to get into a relationship, it requires a lot of self-reflection, a lot of telling yourself the truths about your life and yourself. You know, it doesn't mean to say that things aren't changing. It doesn't mean to say that there might not be this miracle person that comes into your life that you never realised and they just happen to be there and everything's great. Do you know what I mean? Because that can happen. You know, there are exceptions. But, you know, you need to develop and grow and change yourself as a person in order to get usually the person that you want in your life in the future. You know, I'm preparing now, as I see it, for my better future and for myself. I'm trying to change myself. You know, but the thing is with me, I have to also be careful that I nourish my inner child, because it really plays up if I don't, and that I'm still somewhat stable in certain things now as I am, because otherwise, if I destabilize myself by making so many changes and not grounding myself in my core, then I can, like, feel things can just, like, not, you know, like, be out of control and not feel so good for me. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you have to adapt your circumstances to yourself, but you have to think about what you really want. It's like I said at the last asexual meetup, there's this guy who's living his purpose. It's great doing his work, really good work, but he, in all honesty, like he said when I spoke and said, you know, a lot of people haven't actually got time for relationships, they're not serious about relationship. He realized he hadn't really got time for a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Certainly not for someone who didn't live near him. Do you know what I mean? Because his schedule's so intense. I do have some coming to see me next weekend. She's at Archer too. She's 50. Well, there you go then, Ray. See? I said unless it's someone like you. Well, that's really good. Is she a friend or is she a love interest? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You can, you have to determine what type of person you want. If you want someone like you, an archer who's into shooting, all that type of thing, they wouldn't need you to take that down, would they? They would probably, well, I don't know about the axes, but you know what I mean? They'd be like-minded. So in which case you don't need to remove them, take them out. I don't think people should change themselves for other people per se, but I think you should change yourself for yourself to attract the right person that you want into your life. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm really young these days and I love it. I love being young. But obviously, if I was an older version of me, like some younger guys wouldn't be interested. And to be honest, it's difficult because some younger guys do get interested in the older woman. It's like I'm not that either. So friend for now and see how it goes. Well, that's really good, Ray. Congratulations. That is really good. So there you go. You see, if she's an archer too, it's all good. It's good. Did you meet her through a dating site or did you meet her just out and about at a competition or something? I'm really intrigued now. Good for you as well. I'm proud of you. Good for you. How did you two meet? Tell us all. Are you able to, or is it confidential? So obviously this is a live stream, but yeah, it's really good. So yeah, but this is what I mean. You have to like, and do you know what an avatar is? Does everyone know what an avatar is? It's basically like like it's your person, your ideal person, what they would look like, what they would do. No, I met her in the competition on Saturday. Yay! Go Ray! Go Ray! Go Ray! Go Ray! This is good. This is really, really good. See? Very good. Very good. Wow. This is good. I'm proud of you. Good luck, Ray. I'm rooting for you. Rooting for you. So, this is why it's so important to get the right person, because I don't believe a person should change for someone else or have someone change them. I think you should try and get the person that's going to most fit you and your lifestyle. However, it should be a person that wants to grow and develop themselves and the relationship with you. Do you know what I mean? It's like I clearly need someone who likes being in a city like me, not someone who wants to live out in the countryside, because that's no good for me. It's no good for them. I don't want them to come and live in a city if they love the countryside. Why would I want that for them? It's ridiculous. I don't, So I want, and I want specifically an Indian guy, to be perfectly honest with you. I keep saying it all the time because it's true. I do. Like every day I'm just thinking I've got an Indian soulmate. I've got an Indian soulmate. I can't wait to meet my Indian soulmate. Where is he? But he'll meet him in good time. I obviously have a lot of things I need to do first before I get to meet this guy. So it's really important that you do you do decide what type of person you want for you, like what shared interests, hobbies. They don't have to like every single little thing you like or be exactly identical to you, but you should have character traits that complement each other as well. Like like sometimes it's good if I have someone who's a little bit more laid back than me, for example, but not so laid back that they're carefree, because that would really annoy me. Like I like it, like, because I'm in the spotlight. I like being in the spotlight. I don't need someone to be in the spotlight. It'd be better if I had someone that wasn't so in the spotlight but still supported me publicly as well. Do you know what I mean? So that if they happen to have their picture taken with me, they'd be really happy and proud to be with me, but they don't need the they don't need media or to be in the public eye like I am. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that I look for in a relationship that will go really well with me, will be similar, the same, and other things that will complement each other. Like I expect I will attract a young guy who's got an old soul, because that's what I usually do. And I got a really young soul. So you end up complementing each other if you get the right older soul with the younger soul. Do you know what I mean? You end up complementing each other, because usually the younger guy with the older soul ends up being the older one and I end up being the younger one. So it's kind of like they're older than me, even though in birth certificate age they're not. if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't think, like, it's really good and important to, know exactly what you want in your life. And I do think it's important for a new relationship to not have everything of your ex. Like, who wants to start a new relationship where you just have stuff lying around with your exes all the time? It's not really healthy. Do you know what I mean? It's like my best female friend who's moved in with her new guy. They're doing up the house together. Owns his own house, but he's getting rid of some stuff from his past. She's got rid of some stuff from her past. They buying new furniture together. They're redecorating the house together. And it's all new and fresh. They're doing everything together. Do you know what I mean? And so that bodes really well for their relationship. It says, yes, I'm invested in this relationship. I'm committed to this relationship. I'm committed to change. I'm committed to making it work. I'm sharing stuff already with that person. We're having stuff together. We're having shared goals, ambitions, and dreams. We're wanting this house to look nice. We're picking stuff out together, colours that we both like. They both happen to like the same shades of colours and things, which is great. So, you know what I mean? There's a great degree of synergy happening, and commitment to each other. And, like, my friend's not got rid of every single thing from her exes, but she's got rid of a lot of stuff, like past stuff that she doesn't need or doesn't go with the new decor. She just wants a fresh start. There's a nice Indian guy in my archery club. He's 22. I don't know if he's single. Oh, Ray. Yes, tell him about me. I don't really, like, hopefully he hasn't got axes everywhere in his home. But yes, he probably wants sex, though. They all do. Like, but yes, talk about me. Talk about me. Tell him. Ray, tell him about me. Go for it. So I know this nice young girl. I know there's going to be someone probably come into my life, or someone, it might be someone who knows me that actually will end up seeing someone saying, I know a girl who likes Indian guys, and telling them about me. It could be that. Okay, will do. Yeah. You can tell him I'm asexual too. I'll be like, what the hell's that, probably? But some Indian guys are asexual. There's quite a few Indian guys that are asexual. But no, my luck, being asexual, aromantic, not even romantic. But no, I can't do someone. I need to be with a romantic guy. It's really important. But yeah, that sounds really good, Ray. Yeah, talk to him. Tell him about me. Let's see how I go when you talk about Indian guys, younger guys. Yeah. Obviously, you live miles away from me, but never mind. But yes, go for it. See, I believe life is too short, and when opportunities arise, you've got to go for it. And I'm glad you've gone for it with this woman. I don't believe you should let any opportunities pass you by. I think it's so important. You need a younger version of me. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I need a lot of your qualities, Ray. But I need someone with short brown hair. I like clean shaven. I like someone who's a city guy and who doesn't have axes and pointy, sharp objects everywhere, and has like young stuff and does young stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's really important. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but I mean, you've got a son, but you said he's not going to be any good for a relationship for me. So yes, I do need someone with older qualities, like who will pursue me, who will keep in contact with me, who will want to share his life with me, and will be serious about a relationship with me. That's the difficulty when you like really young guys like me in their early 20s. A lot of them don't even know what they want. They don't even know if they want marriage or kids or not. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, usually I go for asexual guys, not sexual ones, because sexual ones nearly always need sex. Like this guy on ASAP who I mentioned yesterday. I think I mentioned him yesterday. He was in his mid-20s, and he's like, oh, you'd be too, even though I'm in my 20s, you're too energetic for me. I couldn't be with someone like you. And he did say to me, I've got a lot of younger friends in their 20s, and if you like sex, I could put you with any one of them because, you'd be suitable for them. But not for me, because you're too energetic for me, and I just couldn't keep up with you, even talking to you. You're too much energy. But he said, I've got a lot of heterosexual friends in their early 20s. They'd love to be with you, loads of, take your pick. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because I get younger heterosexual guys in their 20s always after me. But I just like, if I was a sexual cougar, if I was a woman that loved sex, I'd be I'd be in a favourable position for all these young guys, sexual guys, but I'm not, because I'm not interested in sex. I don't want a younger guy for that. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. Do you know what I mean? This is boring. I'd rather have all the kissing and the romance and the going out on cute dates and talking to the early hours in the morning about anything and everything. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I do like a lot of your qualities, Ray, and the guy who knows what he wants. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, you know what I mean? It's very difficult, but, you know, I won't give up. I believe my Indian asexual soulmate's out there. He's got to be Indian. I honestly believe he's Indian. I can't think he's not. It just always comes back to the same thing. And just when I think about, like, maybe I shouldn't be thinking about an Indian guy pops up back into my life. I was like, nah, you should be thinking about an Indian guy, because an Indian guy is the one you want. You know that. I know. You're like, yeah. How do you know my older son is disabled but a good person? I think he always have to have care. Your older son is disabled. I thought it was a younger one. Is your oldest son? Oh, your oldest son's disabled. Is that the one who's 22? The one that you showed me a picture with the dog? Is that him? I think you did tell me about his disability a bit, actually. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be a mother to a guy. I don't mind looking after. All 4 kids are. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, right. You know, I mean, I don't want to be a mother to a guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't actually want to be a carer. But obviously with a younger guy, I could, you know, like, I'm not so, you know, like, if I have to see a younger guy's body, it doesn't bother me as much as an older guy's body. I can't see an older guy's body. But you know what I mean? I don't want to be a mother. I don't like younger guys to mother them or be a mother to them. Do you know what I mean? I like a young guy who knows what he wants, who's strong, who'll, you know, make arrangements with me to take me out on dates, who'll be actively, like, involved in the relationship, in meeting up with me and spending time with me. You know, like, I don't want to be a mother to a guy where I'm telling him what to do and phoning him and messaging him first all the time. That type of thing wouldn't suit me at all. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not a motherly type in that way. I don't like, some people don't get it. It was really upsetting once because there was this guy who I'm friends with, asexual guy, and he was really rude. You know what I mean? He goes, oh, if you want a mother a guy, why don't you just have a kid? And it's like, I don't like young guys to mother them. It's the opposite. And in a relationship, I like the younger guy to be the older one and me to be the younger one. So, you know what I mean? I definitely don't want to go around cooking and cleaning and tidying up after a guy. I want an independent guy who can do all that for himself. So, do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't mind if a guy has some disability, but I don't want to be like a mother to him going around, like, doing all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's not really what I'm after, because I would just feel like I would be a mother. I don't want to cook, clean and do all that stuff. If was younger, I would look after you. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. That's really sweet. You'd look after me even if you weren't younger as well. I know that about you. But thank you. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't mind being with someone who has a disability. That's not the issue. The issue is if they can't take care of themselves and me in the relationship, and they would need me to be a mother to them and, like, fulfill the role of a carer. Do you know what I mean? It's not, I would want them to be an equal to me, not me be doing that type of thing. I don't want to sit there cooking and cleaning for a guy. Do you know what I mean? I want him to do all that himself and be very, very independent. You do anyway. Look after me. Yeah. Yeah. So, do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know if your son can look after himself or whatever, but yeah. And, you know, like, I need someone who's really into the same type of relationship as me, you know, like, really romantic guy as well. But, you know, I need a younger, older guy. I need him to look really young in body and be young in lifestyle, yet have an older persona and soul about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's the one who takes charge of certain situations. He's the one who leads certain situations. I'm like the girl and he's like the older guy, but he's actually young in birth occasion. Does that make sense? I like a juxtaposition. Is that the right word to use? Like opposite. So I like a younger guy who's got like who's a responsible younger guy, who's a committed younger guy, takes life seriously type of guy. Like it really puts me off when I go on dating profiles, like even asexual dating profiles. Like I'm old but I have a young life, haha. Yeah, but I need a yeah, I need. I guess. Oh bless you, you do have a young life actually. Um, but yeah, but yeah, but there's certain things that I would call a young life that you probably don't have. Like I like going out clubbing. I don't think you go out clubbing. Do you know what I mean? Like I like going to theme parks and hanging upside down on roller coasters. I don't know if you do that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I like sparkly things and coloured boxes. And do you know what I mean? Like really kid stuff and cuddly toys and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think you're young in that way. But yeah, so it's kind of like I need. Oh, you too. Oh, but you know, like so it's kind of like I need a young guy, but I need a young guy. Like it really puts me off when I'm on dating sites and I see these. Oh, you love the Hulk ride. Oh, you love theme parks as well. Oh my God, Ray, another thing in common. I did a asexual meetup this year for my birthday. It was a late meetup birthday for we went to Green Theme Park together. See, you would have loved that if you love theme parks. I'm not sure if I know the Hulk ride, but there is a ride at a Green Theme Park that has Marvel. It's a Marvel ride and it's got Hulk painted on the back of it, but it's not just specifically a Hulk ride. So I don't know a specific ride that's just Hulk. But I didn't know you like theme parks. Well, I'm eating my words now, aren't I? So you'll have to come to one of my meetups one day, definitely. Um, but yeah, so it's kind of like I need a younger guy, but someone who's mature, you know, like committed and responsible and cares. Not one of those. What really bugs me, like when I go on asexuality.com, for example, which is a dating website for asexuals, you know, the amount of guys that go, oh, I'm carefree. I don't take life too seriously. If a guy says to me, I don't take life too seriously, I'm thinking, he's no good for a serious relationship. The clue is in the first line of the words, I don't take life seriously. If you don't take life seriously, you ain't going to take a relationship seriously. So be very warned that that is a huge, dangerous thing. If you are interested in someone, a guy or a girl, any gender, and in their profile they put, I don't take life too seriously, do you really think that person's going to take a relationship seriously if they don't take life too seriously? Really? Because if they don't take life seriously, then how do you know if they're serious ever about a relationship or not? You don't. I went to Universal Studios America. Oh, I went to that in Disneyland Paris because in Disneyland Paris they've got Disneyland and Universal Studios, I think it is, next door to it. It's all part of Disneyland Paris. It's amazing. But they didn't have a Hulk ride there. They had Terror Tower. Oh my God, Terror Tower. I made myself go on that 3 times. It's the first ride I went on. I was on my own. So I went to Disneyland Paris on my own. I made myself go on Terror Tower, and I hate horror. And I hate supernatural stuff. But I went on Terror Tower. I don't know if you've been on Terror Tower, Ray. Oh my God, like the ride, it comes out like it's a huge tower with lots of like different different outside walls to it. And like when you go, oh, you love that ride, and when you know about it, then some other people don't. So when the ride goes really high up, you see all these holographic like horror typey like it's like supernatural dead people like holographic stuff. And then what happens is you come out and you come out onto like this balcony of a tower really high up and you're dangling your legs and it's like really high and I don't like heights. And then you go back in, you stop, and then you drop, and like you plummet down to the bottom of the tower, and like your legs, like you have this bar in, and your legs literally, your body go up in the air. And luckily you got the bar, because if you didn't have the bar, you'd be flying everywhere. And you have the bar, and you're literally, your legs go, the bar is like down, and your legs are going whoosh up. And so it's like your hair's going up and everything. Oh my God. You love it. Oh, I didn't know you like theme parks. That's one of the things I love to do in a relationship. Go to theme parks. It's my favourite thing to do, apart from kiss. And kissing and theme parks, they go very well together, especially when you go on the rides. Got two thrills in one. Asexual thrills, of course. Oh my God, Ray, I didn't know you like theme parks. I've done every ride in Alton Towers. Now, Ray, I mean that's a very theme park attraction. I think I've got theme park attraction. I do get more attracted to guys who like theme parks. Oh my God, I haven't done every ride in Alton Towers. There's a few I can't do. They're really high up or splash water in your face. I don't like those ones. Oh God, you're really good then. I didn't know you were into theme parks. Oh my God. That's really, really good. Really, 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 really good. Wow. That's incredible. Yes. That put me in my place, didn't it? Shut me up. That's amazing, Ray. It's really, really good. Really, really good. Yeah, really, I'm very impressed with that. I love theme parks. They're one of my favourite things to do. Like one of the guys I liked a couple of months ago, he said, oh, he likes zoos because I like zoos, aquariums, theme parks, going out for meals and cinema. Those are my 5 favourite things to do in a relationship, like date and going out wise. And so yeah, this guy, he said, oh yeah, I like theme parks. No, I like zoos, aquariums and something else, but I don't like theme parks. And that really put me off him because I really need a guy who's into theme parks because that's one of the things I most like to do in a relationship with where I like to go when I have the money is to go to theme parks. Obviously, movies and out for meals is the most important in the sense I do that the most because that's in my city. I can do that. But like actually, when I have the money, I love to go to theme parks. I find it so relaxing and invigorating at the same time. And so if a guy's not into theme parks, he's scared, doesn't want to do it, it's not good for me because it's like, well, I want to do that in a relationship. Like, I don't mind sitting between the guy's legs if I'm going up something. If he's my partner, obviously, not if he's just a mate or friend. But no, you know what I mean? Only if he's a partner and but that's with younger guys. I can't usually be next to a guy's like older guy's body. I can't usually be close to an older guy's body. I just don't feel that way. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's impressive that you've been to Alton Towers. Wow. I do like it, but I haven't been ages there. I like Chessington theme park in the UK. Like, I love Chessington theme park so much. It's one of my favourite theme parks to go to. I do a lot of the rides there. A lot of them on my own, I do. And it's really, really, really good. Really, really good. I've done the one that does like like goes round in loops. Like I think it does like 5 loops or something. It might be 7. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. I love Chessington, but you have to have the money to go there. But I really want to go to theme park now. But yeah, so it's really important that yes, I always deviate from the original theme of the video. It's quite funny. Too tame, laugh out loud. What's too tame? Chessington. But yeah, I always deviate from the original topic, don't I? But it's good. I like deviating from topics and going off on a tangent somewhere else completely different. It's good fun. But yeah, I think whenever you get into a relationship or think about getting into a relationship, you have to consider everything. Do you know what I mean? Like hobbies, interests, things in common, ideal looks, personality ideals, values, beliefs, and morals are some of the most important things because obviously looks can change over time. So values, beliefs, and morals are one of the most important things in a relationship as well. If you haven't got the same morals, values, and beliefs, you're just going to rub each other up the wrong way usually. So that's not good either. But so it's really important that all these type of things before you get into a relationship or potential relationship. Like it can save you a lot of heartache and heartbreak. And it's particularly good if you stick to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not deviate, because I tell you, if you really have chemicals flying for someone and you're really attracted to them, sometimes you can look past their misgivings and the problems that they bring to you, and they're not exactly your ideal type or they're opposite of what you ever wanted. And because you like them and you're attracted to them, you know what I mean? You can lose your sensibility and then you can be like in a relationship before you know it. And then it's like, yeah, I love this person, but they're no good for me actually because they completely got different morals, values, beliefs. They do stuff I don't like, and and that's when people try and change each other. It's not good. That's why at the moment I'm not focused. I mean, I do want to get a relationship ideally, but until the right guy comes along, I'm not focusing on it as much as I used to. Like if I want to go out dancing and kiss a foreign guy, I will, because I think that's better for me than totally focusing on, because I don't want to get into a relationship with a guy who's not suitable for me because I'm so wanting to kiss because I love kissing. I don't want to just come across a guy and just because I kiss him end up in a relationship with him, because that's not right. You know what I mean? I don't need a guy, you know what I mean? In general, I don't need a guy at all, but I would like to be in a serious commit relationship with a nice Indian guy. But until the right one comes along, there's absolutely no point. So, that's why I think it's bad that I do kiss outside of a relationship now, and until the right guy comes along, because one, it's kind of experimenting to see what I do like, nowadays, because things can change. Do you know what I mean? It's good for me to know, like in reality, if I like being with an Indian guy, or potentially not just in my head, but in reality. And it's good for me not to be so focused on every guy I kiss I need to be in a relationship with. Do you know what I mean? Like really, I don't, I don't like just kissing for the sake of it with anyone. I can't do it with anyone. I prefer to do it in a relationship. If I was 20, I would be in with a dance with you. Laugh out loud. I don't know how to answer that, Ray. I really don't know how to answer that. I know your son, who's in his early 20s, is very good looking, and I like him. He's got short, dark hair, isn't he? His looks are beautiful. I think the one that you said's disabled, and he wears lovely clothes, because I get clothes attraction. And the picture you sent me last time, I thought he looked really gorgeous, like beautiful clothes. And obviously he likes animals as well. So there's three things in his favour. He's got the age I like, the hair I like, the fact he likes animals, and he had nice clothes on. That's 4 likes. But it's no good if he's not able to be in a serious committed relationship if he's not capable of that. Do you know what I mean? Like I've come across some other people that have like disabilities and stuff, and they're not actually capable of being in a relationship. I've asked them. I haven't took it for granted. I've said to them, "Are you capable of being in a serious committed relationship?" And their answer is usually, "I don't know." It's not a blank no, but I don't know. But I don't know may as well be no, because unless they know, then how is anyone else supposed to know? And if they don't know themselves, then there's going to be no security there to be in a relationship with them, because it's just going to be by chance. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, up and down every 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I need a guy who knows it's going to work as much as possible, and nothing's guaranteed, but it's going to know it's going to work to the best of his ability and try damn hard to make it work, and and have my best interests at heart. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I can't be with someone who's disabled and not able to be capable of having a relationship because of their disability, and that's just a fact. Like I'm willing to be with someone who's got a disability that would work well with my lifestyle and my needs. Do you know what I mean? It's the same like I have fibromyalgia. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things that is affected by that, so a guy has to be okay with the fact that I've got that. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It might not suit some people. I mean, I live the lifestyle I live a lot of the time because it works really well with my fibro, and I've got to put myself first in that respect. I have to come first. I can't be with a guy like cooking and cleaning and all that lot for him. It takes me all my time to maintain my nice, energetic lifestyle that I love to have, and bubbly personality, because if I was sat cooking, cleaning, washing, my energy would be zapped. There's only a certain amount of energy you have. I have more energy because I don't do things that a lot of people do, like me and Sam were talking about earlier, dusting. They've got better things to do with our life, because while people are dusting their house every day, that's energy they're taking up doing that, and they can't be doing something much more productive to change their life or other people's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I could have spent 2 hours tonight, or an hour and a half. I've been doing this stream. I could have spent that dusting, but which one's much better, talking to you on here or dusting for an hour and a half? Which one's gonna change your life possibly, or impact a life in some way? Only takes one person to see this video and think, you know, I want to like get into a relationship. I never thought about making way for someone and space in my home currently for the person because the person hasn't arrived yet. But you know, like when the student's ready, the teacher will show up. Is that right? Or when the teacher's ready, the student will show up. Do you know what I mean? So when someone's ready in their life, then that'll, you know, then they're more likely to have that person show up in their life. Do you know what I'm saying? And like when the cup's full, stop pouring because the cup will just overflow. And you know what I mean? It's like if you've got too much stuff in your home and it's overflowing and over cluttered, you've got no space for new things to put new furniture and new items in there and breathe fresh life into your life. You're like, I'm cleaning out some of my domains because they're great domains, but I don't need all of those domains. They're not serving any purpose, a lot of them. They're just websites that are static. I have to have some static websites to a certain extent because I'm an author and you've got to kind of like have things about your books. But you know what I mean? I got too many of them. There's some ones that are not making me any money that are just like, well, a lot of them, you know, and I just need to get rid of them if they're not making me any money. If I'm going in a different direction now, you know, got new websites that are gonna like, you know, like especially 3 of them, they're gonna be so much featured over the next year, and they're really gonna be really, they're not to do with asexuality directly. 2 of them's got nothing to do with asexuality directly, but some asexuals might still be interested. But do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, I'm still going to do the asexual stuff, but I have to do other stuff as well, which is a lot. But it's all going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. But it always ends up asexuality is in there somewhere. Like a lot of asexuals end up doing this other things that I do, or following me, or buying other books from me because they trust me, which is good because I know what I'm talking about. I don't lie and I don't pretend to know stuff if I don't. I'm teaching him to cook. Oh, that's good, Ray, that you're teaching him to cook. Yeah, I think he's probably got a long way to go before he's got independence, though, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, he would, like, we've discussed before, he wouldn't be any good for me, but you probably haven't even told him about me anyway. He'd probably be like, this older woman likes you, this older girl. I think any man would be lucky to be with you. Oh, thank you, Ray. That's really sweet. I really appreciate that. I need a young guy who thinks that way. Do you know what I mean? Not a guy that's just after sex or snogging me. Like the younger guys, they love snogging me and my dancing because it's sexy. But you know what I mean? It's like not what I want to be a whole relationship wrapped around. I really appreciate that though. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think you know, when I find the right guy, like a quality guy who knows he doesn't mind someone who's older in birth certificate age, even though, you know, most of the time I don't act like I am my birth certificate age. And, you know, and someone who likes someone who knows what they want in life, is a strong girl for them and stuff like that. Like some younger guys, they are, well, attracted to an older girl, you know, because they want a girl who knows what they want, who's not going to play games with them, who's not going to mess them around, who's intelligent, smart, got a head on her, had some life experience that they can learn from, and someone who they can intellectually talk to, you know, like a lot of young guys who are studying at uni, for example, like, you know, that are doing advanced degrees like in programming, computer programming, business management, all that type of thing. Obviously me and them get on really well because I have the same type of intelligence they do. Just because I haven't got a degree, I've got it through life experience and what I'm doing currently. Do you know what I'm saying? So we can relate to each other like that. And there will be, you know, like there's bound to be some guys out there that, you know, that appreciate an older woman not just for the sex. I know that's what a lot of young guys want. When he's down here, you can chat to him on Messenger. Okay, I'll talk to him on Messenger. Does he know, though, that I like younger guys? Does he know that I like younger guys? Will he be comfortable talking to me? I mean, most younger guys are comfortable talking to me, to be honest. But yeah, that'll be sweet. But yeah, but I don't think he wants a girlfriend anyway, does he? But yeah, I still don't mind talking to him. Video chat. Hello. I'm really good actually with people with special needs, disabilities, and mental health issues. Yes. Oh, he knows I like younger guys, did you say? Is that yes to he likes younger guys or yes to me talking to him? Oh, you told him about me. Oh, that's nice. What did he say? Or can't you say on the live stream? Yeah, I do like younger guys. He can talk to me on video chat if he wants. Then he'll see that I'm young. Like guys usually, when they video chat with me, young guys, they usually really understand. Like, oh yeah, she's just like me, young, and they don't really like. Then they can see me for who I truly am. Do you know what I mean? So that's usually the best way I communicate with younger guys. Like when they video chat with me, they're like, "Oh, everything's great." Do you know what I mean? They feel really comfortable usually. But because I don't really think I'm young, I don't really think I think I am the same age. Do you know what I mean? You said you sound very in. You said you sound very interesting. He said I sound very interesting, or I said that to myself. Can you put you said you sound very interesting? I presume you meant he said that I sound very interesting. Is that right? So yeah, he can chat to me on Messenger. He can video chat with me if he wants. Be like, hello. But I know I said I'd video chat with you one day, Ray. I did actually say that to you. I keep my word. Um, but yeah, so I love video chat because it's so instant and, but I have to fit it into my schedule usually. You should just video chat me first. What? So then I can tell you that I still like younger guys. But I know I said a video chat with you. I will do that because I said. But I usually have to fit it into my hectic schedule most of the time. I got a lot of work to do this week coming up. Lots to do, especially as I didn't do my Facebook Marketplace. Not Facebook Marketplace, that's my other course that I haven't told you about. Especially because I haven't done my, what was I meant to do? Asexual Me Up Mastery I was meant to do today. But I didn't. I'll be doing that tomorrow. But I've got to get up early in the morning. My parents are coming over in the afternoon to pick up the hay for Angel. My mum's got to go to the hospital. But she's good. Love her to bits. But yeah. I can chat to both of you in video chat. 2 for the price of 1. Terrible. But no, I did say I'd video chat with you. I keep my word on these things. But yeah, I do like talking to younger guys. To be honest, I'm just proud to be your friend. Oh, that's so lovely, Ray. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I love having you as my friend as well. It's really nice. And I'm glad that you seem a lot happier in yourself since we've been talking. And I'm glad that I went in the sexual dating groups, because if I hadn't gone in the sexual dating groups, I would not have met you. You see, there's a reason why everything happens, because I'm very intuitive, which I've always said for a long time to people on this channel. I'm very intuitive and I always get things that come into my brain. I'm like, you've got to do this. Just do it because it will be good. In some way, some good will come of it. And if I hadn't gone in those sexual dating sites, buy one, get one free. Yeah. The older and younger one at the same time. That sounds so wrong and naughty. Oh, dearie me. That sounds. I can't do nothing but laugh now. Oh man, I'm getting giddy. It's early in the hours of the morning. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. What was I talking about? I'm talking about young guys. See, I get lost and gooey-eyed when I talk about young guys. My brain just doesn't. You know what I mean? My brain's gone free for rental. Hi Heather, I'm glad you're still here. But yeah, so I always start laughing. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I think I'm gonna have to. I said last night I'm gonna finish and wrap up, and it took about an hour to wrap up. So it's like an hour of show, then an hour that I end up talking about everything else before I wrapped up. An hour wrapping up. Oh, it's funny. But yes, it's nice that you're proud to be my friend as well. I really appreciate that. I can't even remember what I was gonna say anymore. It's really, really funny. I think I was talking about, what was I talking about? No. Anyway, yes, I'll probably think about it in the middle of the night going, ha, I remember that. But yeah, but it's nice. It was nice. I did get a little bit starry-eyed when you said I'm proud just to be your friend. I thought that was really, really nice. Really, 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 really good. Oh, so yeah, I'm good at making you laugh. Yeah, you are very good at making me laugh, Ray. Ray. And Heather was making me laugh as well. Free for rental. But yeah, so I need a young guy who doesn't need sex. There's quite so many guys need sex, and I'm just not into that. Do you know what I mean? Not into that at all. It just is annoying. Do you know what I mean? It's annoying that I attract loads of young guys, which is not annoying, but it's that they all want sex. And it's like, I can't be doing with that. Do you know what I mean? I'll be bored in 5 minutes. I won't be able to sustain a long committed relationship with that. And what's the point in just doing that for a few weeks? It's boring and I don't want to put my body through that. Thanks very much. Do you know what I mean? It's like really not good for me. You know what I mean? Really, really not good for me. I'm not interested in sex. I'm really not interested in it. You know, I love kissing though. I'm gonna kiss a I love kissing like a hobby. It's so nice. A lot of asexuals, they don't understand why I like kissing so much. They think it's boring, but it's because I like it like a hobby. It's like a favorite thing to do. Do you know what I mean? A very favorite thing to do. Like I don't mind sitting between a guy's legs or on his lap, but I don't want sex with him, and I don't want him to do that with me naked either. So it's just not who I am. I'm just not interested in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not good for me. So yeah, what was I saying? What was I originally talking about? Making space in your life. Oh yeah, when your cup is overflowing, stop filling. In other words, make space in your life for new things to come into your life, especially as 2020 is coming up. I'm looking forward to these next months actually. I think it's going to be really good. Really, 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 really good. So I'm looking forward to everything the new year brings, as well as the rest of this year. Yeah, still loads of stuff I need to get done. Ah! Anyway, yeah. So I today's been a bit emotional for me because, like I said, when you do get rid of some old stuff, sometimes it can bring up some memories, and that can zap your energy a bit. You can feel a bit like a bit deflated. So, if you are getting rid of bad, like negative energy out of your life, just just know that you'll be energized afterwards, like later on. But sometimes for the beginning you might be a little bit deflated because you might have emotions going with the thing that you're getting to leave. But it's so good. I mean, the stuff I've got rid of so far, I've not regretted getting rid of anything. I mean, there's one perfume that I really wanted to keep, but I didn't keep it. I didn't really need it, but I did like it. It's one of my favorite perfumes. But do you know what I mean? It's good to move on, get new things. And like I said, I've got rid of quite a lot. I'm really glad I got rid of quite a lot of domains this year to make way for new domains, new website stuff. I've got so much to do though. It gets a bit stressful if you keep thinking about it. So, if you're coming up to the new year, in order to get things finished, try and just set goals and work off your goals one by one, and you'll get there. That's how you accomplish anything in life. Some people are like, well, I've got this dream, but I don't know how to do it. If you've got a dream, you have to work backwards and think, reverse engineer it. Like, what's the dream and what's it going to take you to get there? All the different steps, backwards, or you could do it forwards, but sometimes it's good to do it backwards. Like, what are all the steps I need to do in order to get to my goal? And you have to literally make yourself have little increments. If you want to get rid of items, make yourself get rid of X amount of items at a time. Set a target 5 items or 10 items or whatever at a time. If you too much change at once is not a good thing. Get rid of 2 items at a time, because once you're getting rid of some items out of your life, whether that means you sell them online or you give them to charity or give them to a friend or someone who needs them. If you're getting rid of some stuff, get rid of some stuff X amount at one time, X amount at one time. So you don't have to do everything at once, but just by little by little, by getting rid of some stuff. It's in order to get my new websites, I had to get rid of some. So I didn't get rid of them all at once because they expire naturally after a certain time. I just don't renew them. So, I get new ones and then I let the old ones expire, or I let some of them go and then get new ones. Do you know what I mean? So that's what you need to do in your life, set goals and work towards those goals by like ticking off a to-do list, but a bit more in depth, like set some time aside to do that. Blocking's very good. Like today I've done like sorting out, I mean, there's still a couple of items on top of my wardrobe that I haven't attempted to get rid of yet, which one of them I think I bought myself actually, the other one I didn't. And I kind of like probably want to get rid of at least one more of them, but they're right at the back of my wardrobe. It means me climb up quite a way back and moving loads of stuff. And I thought I've got enough stuff to be thinking about at the moment that I want to get rid of. So sometimes it's just good to have a certain amount of things, get rid of that, then another bit, get rid of that. You know, otherwise you can start feeling overwhelmed, like too much is going on. It's like I'm starting to get to feel now over, like, especially today, because I've really focused on getting rid of stuff. I've kind of felt like I haven't got the stuff done today that I was going to do, which means I've got to do it tomorrow, which is the date now, Monday. So I kind of like missed a day out of the other things, but it's important that I get a lot of this stuff done. But there's still a couple of other things that I haven't, you know, got rid of that I want to as well. So it's kind of like they're in the back of my mind and I'm going to have to take action on them sooner or later. But it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you can get rid of some things that really aren't important to you, first of all, that are really easy to let go, and then work on the harder ones as you go along and work your way up to it and get rid of something that's harder to get rid of for whatever reason, because you like it, it's your favorite or whatever, but you don't need to hold on to it because it's got bad negative energy and past export at you. And then, you know, like just get rid of those harder things like one bit at a time and just think, you know, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be all right. You don't need that item. Like, convince yourself you don't need it. You can detach from it. It's okay. You can let it go. Don't think about it. When it's gone, you know, like I don't go around thinking about all the items or any items that have gone by. You know, once I've made a decision for them to go, that's it. They're gone to wherever they've gone, whether that be, you know, charity or sold them or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Once they've gone, and or given them away. It's really good to just clear and declutter and make way for new love, new life, new career, and all that type of thing. It's like, if you ever do want to move, then you have to consider that, you know, you're going to have to get rid of a lot of stuff when you move anyway. So why not get rid of a lot of stuff in advance so you can improve your current home situation by making more space, decluttering, maybe redecorating or changing some of your room around or rooms. And then, you know, when the time is right, if you want to move, you're more in a better position to go, because you haven't got all this stuff that you need to get rid of in one go. You can literally, you've been getting rid of it bit by bit, so there's less to take to a new place. So obviously, if you do go to a new place, you're probably going to want to have some new stuff there as well. Or maybe you just want to declutter because it's easier for you. You know, you don't want to pay for a huge delivery van to come and pick all your stuff up and pay for extra van space that you don't need, because they're taking stuff with you that you don't use anymore, you haven't used for years. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, there's a certain amount of clothes that I use all the time. There's some clothes I haven't used for years, and unless I'm going to actually use them, what's the point in keeping them? I may as well, you know, them to go to people who can use them and get life out of them. And I think that's quite an important thing. If you've got something you're not using for years or a long time, why not get it to someone else who can breathe new life into it and can enjoy life with it? Do you know what I mean? I kind of think like, when things go for me, I kind of think like they're helping someone else. Like, if they're helping someone else or someone enjoys them and gets pleasure out of it, I feel a good vibe from that. I'm feeling like they're leaving me because I'm not interested in them, don't use them, or they've got negative connotations or negative vibes for me. But when someone else is having them and I see their eyes light up, or it has pleasure for them in some way, or, you know, I just feel better about myself and better about the item that's leaving my life. You know, it's like, well, it's been sat there collecting dust, I can't give it the attention it needs and deserves, it may as well go to a loving new home. Do you know what I mean? And so, you know, just because it's an item doesn't mean to say you can't think like that. You know, you can think that your item's going to a loving new home, you know, like you cared for the item and then it's leaving you and it's going somewhere else. Like, I don't have children, I don't want children. Kind of like objects can kind of become like your kids sometimes, can't they? Because it's like, you know, especially if they're cuddly toys, you know, they can be like your little babies, but sometimes you have to let the babies fly the nest or the kids fly the nest. And with cuddly toys, you have to let them go to someone who can maybe give them more love. You know, like in Toy Story 4, if you watch the last Toy Story, which is an amazing film, you know, sometimes you have to let your toys go, but if they're going to a good home that's going to love them and give them more time, care and attention that they deserve and need, then that's a really good thing. because you're putting a smile on someone else's face. You're giving that toy or cuddly toy or whatever item it is a new lease of life. You're giving it a new owner that should look after it. Obviously, if I send something off to someone or get rid of something to someone who doesn't actually appreciate, like, or look after it, then that doesn't feel so good. But so far, I think anything that has left me has usually, the majority of the time, gone to a good cause. Do you know what I mean? I did that with my ex-wife. I love that, Ray. Sorry, I do find that really, really funny. That's hilarious. But it's actually true. Like, if you can't love the one you're with, give them to someone who can. Or vice versa. If they can't love you who they're with because they don't appreciate you or care about you enough, or give them to someone who they can um be like that over. It's very true in love. It really is, that if you are with someone and they're not happy with you and you're not happy with them, there's only so much you can do. You don't want to be flogging a dead horse, excuse the term. Obviously, I don't want any horses to be dead. So maybe that's a bad thing to use, bad expression to say. I come from up north originally in the UK. So what I mean to say in terms, if you've never heard that term, it's no good like trying to get something out of nothing, get something to work when it's not working. Do you know what I mean? Um yeah, I love horses. So sorry if I've offended any animal lovers. It's an expression, not something I actually want to use, and I want all horses to live. Um but you know what I mean? Like, if you love someone, you'll set them free is what you have to do sometimes, like sometimes people won't be good to you. They might be abusive, nasty, horrible, or whatever. It doesn't mean to say they like a lot of the time they are going to go and be like that with someone else who's close to them as well, but not all the time, and if you can't make it work with you, set them free to be with whoever they want to be. Like, sometimes the hardest thing is letting someone go, and you have to let someone go when they're not right for you. You have to, whatever you feel about it, you have to let them go, because you can't get the right person for you. Like a squeeze of lemon that can't work. Exactly, Heather. Exactly. It's no good. You have to set them free. If you have a relationship, you need both parties to commit to trying to make it work. But there comes to a certain point where you might not be able to get it work. You might both want different life goals, ambitions, and dreams. You might have changed. One or two of you might have changed. You might both be going in different life directions. It's no good, for example, if I end up with a guy who then decides after a year he wants to go and tour the world, because I'm not interested in traveling. So I don't really want to get into a relationship in the first place with a guy like that. But if I did, it'd be very difficult. I'd have to let him go, wouldn't I? Because, I mean, ideally, I don't want a guy like that in the first place, because it'd be heartbreaking. That's a problem. It's a lot of guys do like traveling, and I'm not into traveling. So either I've got to change my mindset and view on that, and become into traveling myself, or traveling more than I do right now, or, I've got to set him free. So it's better that I don't get with that type of guy. Or the guy that wants kids. Yeah, I can't be with a guy that wants kids. A lot of asexual guys don't want kids, but there's still quite a number of them that do. I can't be with a guy who wants kids. I can't be with someone who will need sex in the end, because I can't give him that. Even if I was to ever do that again, I wouldn't be able to sustain it and maintain it like they want it, because it just doesn't interest me. I get bored with it. I'd be bored in a few weeks with it. I don't want that anymore in my life. I don't. So I'd either, ideally, I need an asexual guy, someone that doesn't need sex, but I do need kissing. I can't be with a guy who's not into kissing, because I would be depriving myself of that physical pleasure that I do need. That's why although I don't like sex, I do understand that some heterosexuals need that in a relationship, because it's one thing that they love to do, right? So I do get that, even though I don't want sex myself, because I do love kissing. I couldn't be, like, the thing is with asexuality, most people, there's like a stereotype that it's a platonic relationship. Well, to me, a platonic relationship doesn't involve kissing. I'm not platonically attracted to anyone. I don't experience any platonic attraction. It doesn't happen. normally. It doesn't happen, right? I just don't doesn't work like that, right? With me, I just skip that. It just doesn't happen. But if I was saying about platonic relationship, I would think that is more like companionship and obviously deeper than a friendship. And but it wouldn't need to involve kissing. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I want though, because I want kissing in a relationship. I have to have the kissing. I like that physical intimacy. It's a very big pleasure of mine. And I need a guy who's equally into that as me. Do you know what I mean? Because unless I've got a guy who equally enjoys that, I don't want to be forcing a guy to do that or wanted to even ask him. Like, I mean, obviously you ask each other what you like because you've both got your own boundaries and things you like. But I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who doesn't like that, doesn't want to do it very often or much. I need to be desired in that way. Although I don't need him to desire to have sex and intercourse with me, I do need him to desire to want to kiss me. Like, oh, I really want to kiss you now. Like, I really want to take you in my arms and kiss you. I call it making love with the tongue. I like a guy to make love to me with his tongue, not his penis, to be quite frank with you. And do you know what I mean? And I love all that physical intimacy, like bodies intertwined with a younger guy with clothes on. Do you know what I mean? But I don't want sex. So it's very difficult, that element, when you're asexual. And I don't just want a platonic relationship. I want more than that. I want some physical intimacy, but on levels which I'm comfortable with and that are not directly too sexual in some instances. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying, like, I don't mind kissing, licking and sucking a guy's chest and nipples, to be quite honest with you, but I don't want him doing that to mine. Do you know, I don't mind him kissing my neck and stuff like that, but there's certain limits that I have. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, if you have got someone who's not suitable for your relationship, you just have to set them free and they have to set you free. I mean, there's been people who, it's been really sad, in comments on this channel, people who are with sexuals, the sexuals with asexual. And there was one person who contacted me via a comment, and they've been with their husband, wife, they've been together for 12 years. But he's like, my wife doesn't want sex and we've got two beautiful kids, but I really crave it. And he's heterosexual and she's asexual. And I think it's made them very drift apart. And it will do, because if a guy really wants sex and an asexual really doesn't want it, whether they're married or not, the asexual will usually not want so much physical, although they might love physical touching and kissing in and of itself, they won't want to do that if they think that the guy is pushing them for sex or wanting sex out of it. I mean, who wants to go, who wants to go and kiss if you think it's going to lead to sex all the time, which is what a lot of heterosexuals are geared towards. They're geared towards the fact that if you kiss them, it's a prequel to sex. It's what's supposed to happen before sex. It's like an initiation ceremony where you have sex next. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's why I make it clear with a guy that I'm not interested in sex. Usually I make it clear. Obviously the guy I kissed last time in the club, I didn't tell him I didn't want sex, but I didn't think I needed to in that instance, because I didn't think I'd ever see him again anyway. I didn't think he was going to ask me for sex. And also there were certain places I wouldn't let him touch me while kissing, and so he knew something was different about me. Because he laughed. He's like, I can understand why I don't like being touched in certain places. And I'm like, because I don't like it. I'm happy to touch you and kiss you on your chest, but I don't want you touching mine. It's like, and he just started laughing because he'd like never met a girl like that, I'm guessing, before. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the other Indian guy, I told him from the very beginning, just like, I'm not interested in sex. And it's a good job I did tell him, because he's a hypersexual. So, obviously the other Indian guy that I did kiss, I did send him a text afterwards saying I'm not into sex and different to other girls, which I'm guessing, and I didn't think he'd see me again afterwards anyway, which is fine, because he's not the right type of guy for me, and he has some woman and bloke on his screensaver, which might have been an ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? Right, move on. But but I don't know if I ever meet him out again, but he vaped anyway. I don't want a guy who smokes. I don't want a guy who vapes. It's no good for my health. Do you know what I mean? So I need a guy that's not interested in that. So yeah, Heather, it builds up, doesn't it? I don't want a guy who wants kids. I want a guy who doesn't need marriage. I want a guy who doesn't need sex. I want a guy who doesn't smoke, vape, or definitely doesn't take drugs. I prefer a guy not to drink alcohol if I had the option, but definitely not smoke. I don't like the smoke. I can't. It affects my chest really badly. And yeah, and it's sad because on my channel, when I had this heterosexual guy, saying, "Oh, about my wife doesn't want it, she won't even be affectionate." It's like, well, why are you still doing that? If your wife doesn't want it, then you know what I mean. It's like a case of try other things, like other sexual things, to make the relationship work. But if your partner doesn't want to do that, then maybe it's better you're not together. And in my opinion, if you want sex and the other person doesn't want it, it's better for you two to split up, not make each other happy with going distant, rowing, having arguments, being under pressure from each other like that. What's the point? Life is too flaming short. You might love that person, but there will be someone else in your life that you will love again. Believe me, even if it's just yourself. Give more love to yourself. It's really important. But there will be some other people that you can love. Do you know what I mean? I know it feels like the end of the world in that situation because it's heartbreaking, it's heart-wrenching. I know, I've been there myself, and it's very difficult. But even I know that's like in that particular case, kids are involved, but there's no point in two parents when they're not getting on because they're just not sexually compatible. There's no point in staying together. There's no point in trying to make something work if it just won't and it's not making you happy. Life is too flaming short, seriously. Any one of us can go in a heartbeat just like that. We're lucky to be alive and breathing our next breath. We're lucky to wake up every day and be alive still. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no guarantees we're going to be here the next day. So we should be thankful and grateful for every moment. If we're with the wrong person, that's why I'm very, very, very particular these days about the person I get into a relationship with, which at the moment is no one, because unless they're really, really got a lot of the criteria I'm looking for, there is no point, because it's just going to end up not working out. And it's going to be very painful. I want to make sure that I hone down exactly the type of guy I want and make sure I get the right guy. I don't want a wrong guy for me. There's no point. It's a waste of time and life. I'd rather stay single forever than be with the wrong person. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather stay single forever. It might be the case that I do end up being single forever and just go out and kiss some random foreign guys now and again. But it's all good. But you do have to let some people go sometimes so they can be with someone who's better for them. And that works with you as well. Sometimes you're better off being on your own or with someone else. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it is in life, and people do change. And I think that's one of the most scariest things about a relationship is the fact that a person can change. And you might feel stable now, but in the future they could change. They could change what happens or anything. I mean, there was one person as well that came on my comments a long time ago, and their partner had found out, well, there was a couple of different people. There was one where their partner had someone who was demisexual, but they didn't want sex, but the person who was demisexual said, I'd like to have sex with you. But I said, if you talk to them, you might just find they'd like to have sex with you because they love you, but they don't actually need that. And they talked to them and they didn't need it because this person's sex repulsed, asexual. And so they were really happy that their partner who's demisexual could be with them without sex ever. So that was really good. And then there was another scenario where there was someone on here, I think they were female and attracted to females, and their female partner had realized that they were actually a sexual person, not asexual anymore. And then they needed and wanted sex and they couldn't really live without it. And it was really, really sad that they thought that, they didn't know if they're going to be together in the future or not. And that's the thing. If one partner really needs and wants sex and likes it and enjoys it, the other person doesn't, they're not compatible. It's just the fact they're not compatible. You know what I mean? You could try and make it work, but if someone really, really loves and wants sex and the other person really, really doesn't want it, it's not going to work in long term, is it? For long term health and happiness, it's going to be like both people's needs aren't being met. Like I don't want to be in a situation again where I get into a relationship with a heterosexual and I need the kissing because I do need the kissing, and they need sex, but they can't live without the sex. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to. I'd rather be single than be with a heterosexual guy who needs sex and I can't feel that need because I still need my kissing needs met. I'm not going to be in a relationship again where I'm with a sexual guy who has to have sex and can't kiss me lots, because some heterosexuals, they can't do that. They can't kiss for very long without needing sex, and it really frustrates them and irritates them and annoys them. You know what I mean? That's not a healthy relationship. So I need to get really an asexual guy for me who's into kissing as much as me and really romantic, like I am, but also intelligent and likes good conversations and to hang out and watch movies and go to theme parks and have fun, really. So, but yeah, to conclude this video, because I better wrap up because I've been over here for 2 hours and I think my voice is starting to be a bit croaky again. You know, when your cup is overflowing, get rid of what is in it to make it overflow. So that means get rid of people in your life if they're really, really horrible, mean, nasty, or they're just not serving any purpose. Like if you've got friends lists on Facebook and you don't speak to the people and they're just people you've collected, don't be a people collector, be a sifter and selective with who you be friends with, right? And you know, if they don't speak to you ever, they're not serving a purpose in life. What's the point? Do you know what I mean? And in your home, declutter, get rid of some things that are to do with ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, past partners. Get rid of them, declutter your home. There's stuff that you don't use anymore, you know, like clothes or games or whatever. You don't think you're going to use them again, maybe not for years or ever. Get rid of them, either give them to charity, give them away, or get some money for them, and you put that money towards getting fresh new stuff. You know, but money is energy. It brings new energy into your life, new currency. It's all good. You could invest that money in something as well. Your health, you know, put money into building a website. You know what I mean? You can do a lot of stuff. You know, like you can change products and turn them into money and do other things with money and build new ventures with it. Do you know what I mean? And so, you know, like look at all aspects of your life. Like, is there some old patterns you've got, some old habits that you really, really need to change? One of my old bad habits was I had to renew every single website every single year. So I got rid of some of my old domains, even though I was initially hard. Now I'm like wanting to get rid of more, because it's like now once I've started and set my mind to something, it's like I can do it now. I don't have any fear of it. Like, I mean, sometimes I'm like in two minds whether to actually, you know, like renew some of them or not. And then I'm thinking, well, I kind of think I do need to do that. There's one that I wanted to get rid of, but I couldn't because my emails and business stuff was tied up with it. And I'm like, oh, you're going to have to keep that one, even though you're not doing much with it. So actually, excuse me, serves a function. So you've got to keep that one. But yeah, so, you know, just get rid of stuff that's no longer serving you, no longer helping you. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to go and have a snack, I think. I'm starting to rumble. You know, get rid of the stuff that's not serving you, the stuff that's no good, the stuff you're not using, the stuff you're not getting anything out of, and make way for fresh new stuff in your life, especially going through from 2019 to 2020. I think it's a really, really good time. Really good time. But there's still plenty of time at the end of this year to do things. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if you are selling anything online, I have to say that now is the best time to sell it, because you're likely to sell 3 times much more stuff in the run up to Christmas than you are in the new year and beyond. Because I used to be in retail for very many years, and that's what I learned. Every retail store, for example, they sell triple the amount of stuff they do at Christmas, the Christmas time, compared to the rest of the year. So if you're going to sell any of your stuff, selling it before Christmas is actually, I'm giving you money, advice and business tips here on an asexual stream. But it's all good. You know, I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you out. But yeah, so if you are going to sell some stuff for your personal things, you know, if you need some extra cash for Christmas or going on holiday or seeing a friend or whatever, then, you know, it's best to sell these things before Christmas, because people are looking for presents. They're looking for cheaper presents, stuff to buy that's not necessarily new, especially with the economy the way it is. And they'll be, you know, like you're more likely to get more sales before Christmas, like 3 times more sales usually before Christmas than the rest of the year. So it's a perfect time to clear out, declutter, get some cash. You can put that cash towards other things you do want and need. You know, you don't have to give everything to charity. I used to years ago give everything to charity that I just thought I'm no longer needing. But you don't have to give everything to charity. There's nothing wrong with you actually selling some stuff, taking that money and plowing that money into investing into, for example, I don't know, a new camera, a new PC, a book that you need to read. You know, there's nothing, because if you're taking that money and investing it in your educational equipment to do things with, or maybe it's a hobby that makes you deeply, deeply happy, you're kind of investing in your self development, self growth, personal development, personal happiness. You know, do you see what I'm saying? So you can take like a negative situation or something that's, you know, that's like not being used, it's sitting there doing nothing. You can turn that thing into something that gives you currency, energy, to plow into something else that makes you more energy, more vibrancy, more happier. Do you see what I'm saying? So move the negative energy, put it out into the universe to help someone, to give you back, to get other better energy coming into life. So like money is like energy that travels from one place to another. I've been learning a lot about money and money management more lately, and so there's good life skills, you know. And money is energy, so it, you know, it changes into things. It's currency, it allows you to do stuff. So you know, you know, like I am, you know, if I sell anything online now, then, you know, a personal item, and it goes to someone who's really happy to receive it and their eyes light up, I mean, that just makes me feel great. Do you know what I mean? I mean, so you might, you know, with Christmas coming up, you might just want some extra cash to put towards Christmas pudding, Christmas cake, having more food on the table if you're a foodie. Like I know a lot of asexuals are foodies and you like your food. Like I tend to have like sugar-free, wheat-free, gluten-free ice cream at Christmas. Do you know what I mean? I don't have it all the time very often. I usually get a big pot, you know, that takes more money and stuff like that. And, or, you know, if you want to buy more Christmas decorations or a new Christmas tree, or do you know what I mean? It's kind of like out with the old stuff that you're not using anymore, that you don't need in your life, that's superfluous to it, and in with the new, and use that. You know, you know, I think it's important to give some money to charity and to give some money and to give some things away to people. But I also think it's good, like, you know, if you're like, say you spent £20 on an item and you're only selling it for 9, then, you know, like, you might have used it a bit, but then, you know, you're giving someone a bargain that would be more expensive for them to get in the shops and pay full price for it. If you haven't used it much and it's in great condition, they get an absolute bargain. They're really happy. You've got this £9 that you can buy a Christmas turkey with, or if you're vegetarian, buy a nut loaf with or something. Do you know what I mean? It's all good. So, you know, don't think that just because you're getting rid of stuff in your life, you know, like I said, you can make way for new stuff in your life, and you can use that money to put towards something that's great. My daughter wants a new bow. Exactly, Ray. But I know you gave your money away that you won the other day to charity. You could have like bought your daughter a new bow. Or your daughter might be able to sell some stuff and have a new bow herself. So don't forget, charity does begin at home to a certain extent as well. I do believe that. I do think that you sometimes have to treat yourself as well, not just give money to other people. You have to make sure that you are treating yourself, that you know, that if you're willing to give money to other people, it's great and you should give some, but I also think it's good to give yourself some, you know, even for a luxurious item now and again, or a treat now and again, like a bunch of flowers to yourself, or a block of chocolate to yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to think that charity does begin at home as well. And if you're giving to other people, why can't you give yourself a little bit of that as well? Do you know what I'm saying? So don't just think that you have to give all your money away or give everything to everyone. I think it's good to put a proportion, like 10% or whatever, towards charity, and things like this. And, like, you know, you can spend some stuff on yourself as well. It's important that you give yourself gifts and that you do a lot of self-loving. It's very, very important. You know, I go out to kids club a lot, or to the cinema, and I go on a lot of self dates, and I feel really good when I do that. And when I go out dancing, you know, that's for me. That's going out doing something for my body as well. It's very, very healthy for my body. Very good for my confidence building. Very good for relationship and dating skills building. There's a lot of good things when I go out dancing, that, you know, it does a lot of good things. I can't afford to do that all the time. I've been out once, which was like a few weeks. Was it 2 or 3 weeks? Was it 2 weeks ago? Week before last, I think it was, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago now, I think it was. I forget. But yeah, I think it'd be 2 weeks ago this Tuesday coming up. So, which will be tomorrow now, because it's Monday now, in the middle of the morning. So yeah, I think it's really good to, you know, to still treat yourself. And you know, like, some people will say to me, like, because some people say to me, oh, I haven't got any money, which I do understand. But they're like, well, haven't you got any personal items that you can sell? And they'll be like, well, no. And I'll be thinking, well, surely there's some items of clothing that you don't actually wear anymore, you haven't worn for maybe years. Why don't you get rid of some of them? Like, you could get rid of some old perfumes or some old aftershaves that you don't use, or like if you've got things that are bought for Christmas presents years ago that you no longer use or never use, like boxes of handkerchiefs or socks or like soaps or things like that, why don't you just sell some of them? You don't, like, for example, as long as they're in good condition. But sometimes people buy things that have got part broken as well, like on eBay and stuff like that. Some things or Facebook, you can sell some stuff where you might have like things that are quite a little bit faulty, but they'll still buy them. Do you know what I mean? As long as you list the faults or the problems with it. So it's really, really interesting, like there's usually something you can do. Like I've seen people that have, that are very creative in what they do. Like you can get stones and you can get paints where you can paint on stones and you can sell the stones with paints on them. Like some people like do motivational quotes and inspirational quotes on pebbles and things like that. You have to get specialist paint that will stick on the pebbles though. But I saw someone doing that online. It was all these beautiful inspirational quotes, really, really, I mean, they were selling them really cheap for like £1. God knows how long it actually took them to paint the stones. If it took them a long time, they just get £1 out of it. It's not really very much money, is it? But if it's something that you don't mind doing anyway, that you enjoy from an artistic point of view, why not do something like that? Get a bit of cash, make some people happy with your inspirational, motivational messages. Paint a few stones, which is good for your health, if you like that type of thing and like being creative, and it's all good, isn't it? Cheered someone up and get a little bit of cash. Obviously, if you in terms of productivity and getting money coming in, obviously if you've got something that you need to be doing that will earn you £30 and you're working on a pebble in the same amount of time that will earn you £1, then that's not very good return on investment or a good use of your time. But if you're a type of person that's got like an afternoon that's you don't do much or anything, you may as well like paint some pebbles, get a bit of money and cheer someone up with some inspirational, motivational messages. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Use your imagination, use your creativity, come up with something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's lots of stuff you can do. I'm completely on tangents now, but no, it's because I was talking about, like getting rid of items and stuff. But there's things you can do, You might have stuff lying around the house that you can make something out of to sell, or just make something for a friend. Do you know what I mean? You might have some, I don't know, some card or something that you've never used, and you could make someone a Christmas card with it, put some glitter on, put some stickers on. So instead of buying a card, you could make you could make a card for someone. There's loads of things, you can, like if you've got some books you no longer read, you could take them to a bookshop that, secondhand bookshop. Oh, there's some books for charity, you could give them to charity shop, or you could sell them. Do you know what I mean? So there's loads of things you can do. So just, like when you get rid of your stuff and you're getting rid of your old energy, you can be helping someone out at the same time. That's what I think is the most fulfilling. If you get rid of a negative thing in your life, or something that's like got negative connotations, something that's got past exes involved, and you take that thing and you detach from it and you give it or sell it to someone else, and their eyes light up and they're really thankful and it means something really positive to them, I just think that's one of the best feelings in the world, because you've transferred some negative energy, some negative feeling, negative emotion. You've actually took charge of your life. You're giving yourself a life skill, which is the skill of detachment, which is really important, because if we're getting attached to objects, we're getting attached to people. Being too attached to people is not a good thing, especially in a relationship. If they leave you, you're in trouble. I'm not saying you're not going to get attached, because I get attached, I think I'll always get somewhat attached to someone, because I think being an emotional, empathetic, sympathetic person who cares and is deeply connected, I think I will always have some attachment there. But, if you can learn the skill of detachment, it's better. It means that, you're not going to get into a relationship with someone too quickly as much. You're not as likely to. And, like the more you learn about detachment, the more you can do that detachment. It means if you do get into a relationship with a person who's the wrong person for you, it'll be easier than it would have been if you hadn't learned the art of detachment. So you're learning a life skill, and then you're breathing new life or positivity into someone else that really wants that thing that you had. Do you know what I mean? So they don't know its history, they don't know its past. It's like fresh and vibrant and energetic to them, and it can, they can breathe new life into it and happiness. So I just think there's a lot of positivity around something that can be initially negative thing or connotations. There can be a lot of good outcomes. You can use it to hone your life skills and your personal growth, and give something to someone else, or like, even if you like, say you've spent £50 on an item but you're selling it for 20 quid, you're still giving in effect like £30 worth of value to them for free. Do you know what I mean? As well as them giving you a bit of money back for it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I just think it's a win-win-win-win-win. I just think it's really good. I like it if I ever get rid of anything. I gave a watch to one of my friends, but to be honest, I was given this watch, and I was going to sell it because I was giving it to potentially sell, but I ended up giving it away instead to a friend, and the friend was really happy with it. And so, that's most important. It was most important to me that that person was happy. Do you know what I mean? So, and there wasn't any negative energy from that thing, actually. So sometimes you just give something because you want to give, and other times you can do it for the greater good of yourself and the other person. So it's all good. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with that now. Yeah, because it's been 2 hours and 19 minutes, and I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Thanks for all the thumbs up. If you've got any more thumbs up, please give them to me and this channel, because it helps raise awareness of asexuality. Thank you so much, the normal guy. It's the first time I've spoke to you tonight, but I know I've spoke to you, I think, before on this channel. So thank you, lots of love for tuning in. Sam, good video. It's always good to have the occasional clear out. Good night all. Night Sam, night Ray, night Heather, and don't forget, if you haven't already subscribe right now to this channel and hit that bell notification so that you get notified of every time I go live, like now, I'll post a new video. So when I say bell notification, it's bell icon, which is what gives you the notification if I'm live, so you can catch me instantly on here, or as soon as the email notification comes through, which doesn't take long to get to you. And yeah, don't forget to embrace your quirky and each other. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit that icon button if you haven't already, the bell icon. And don't forget to check out my book if you've never checked it out before, Asexual Perspectives, on Amazon, links below, and check out all my links below. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other. I love you for now, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Heather. Thanks for the normal guy. Lots of love to everyone who's been watching. I know there's been a lot of people watching tonight. Some of you have been here throughout a long time with me, so thank you so much. And thanks very much for everyone else that's tuned in tonight. Lots of love to you all. Night Ray, night Sam, night Heather, night everyone, night the normal guy. Bye.